Hello, all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts podcast, brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout. Watched a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob. Haven't watched nearly as much wrestling, and I have to say, Austin, after the deeply offensive climax to the episode we watched last week, I have to say I am feeling so relieved that we are back in 1990, an era, 1990s WWF, to be clear, a company in an era that is not going to do anything remotely offensive, insensitive,
Oh,
or
you're
otherwise appalling. I'm excited. I'm excited for a nice, easy, uncomplicated watch this week.
you're not gonna like one of the matches I picked for us to watch.
Oh, you didn't. You didn't. You you
I
you
did. I
absolute
did.
you absolute dog.
I did pick that match.
I hate you. I actually hate you. God fucking damn it. No, I was like, what are the odds? I'm rolling the dice. Son of a bitch.
All right. So we are
back
here.
to the Noobs and Knockouts podcast, folks. Everything is pain always.
Yeah, so we're back in 1990. We're finishing today the Ultimate Arc, Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior. It's
The
WrestleMania 6.
Combination, a hulking feud, the Ultimate Arc, if you will. Yes.
So we'll get to WrestleMania in a minute, but I do. It's been 3 weeks of time
Yes.
since we were last here, where Warrior told Hogan to crash a plane and die.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a spiritual plane, don't take it to death threat. What death threat? Yeah, you got nothing.
Right. So, I mean, not a ton happens on TV on a week-to-week basis, and that's definitely true when everything has been settled for Mania at this point. Spinning wheels. But they did do a special primetime, a special episode of Primetime Wrestling the week before Mania called the Ultimate Challenge Special. It was basically like an episode of Primetime, but it was on location in Toronto. And so did want to at least go over the results of that before we talk about what matches we're going to watch on Mania. So basically, Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan are at the Sky Dome. They are, doing their usual shtick there. First match of the show was the Red Rooster versus Ted DiBiase.
Oh, hey. Okay.
That was DiBiase won. Fantastic.
I'm sure that had a reason to happen.
Just he's building momentum for WrestleMania. Yeah,
that's fair.
Then we had Boris Zukov versus the Big Bob Man.
Big Bob Man will make you what we got to keep powering up those boys.
Big Boss Man won and then handcuffs Boris Zukov and beats him with the nightstick.
Police brutality. It's okay now because he's a good guy. What's a tautology?
Of course. This was a big segment. They recapped this from Superstars. Rhythm and Blues won a jobber squash match, and then after the match, they were going to play. They were considering playing their song "Honky Honky Burnin' Love" right then and there. The Bushwhackers came out to interrupt them, and then Rhythm and Blues beat them with their guitars. Like, they absolutely destroyed the guitar.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's a very dangerous line of work to be a guitar in a wrestling promotion. Like, you're just kind of asking for it at that point.
Mm-hmm. We ended up getting the Macho King Randy Savage versus Dusty Rhodes 1v1 here. Instead of on the WrestleMania, we got to do the mixed tag bullshit. Here we get the 1v1 though.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Which we didn't need to see on the pay-per-view. No, that mixed tag is the much more serious affair here.
Absolutely. It ends in a DQ because Sapphire and Sherry run in the ring and start fighting, so the ref goes.
Oh my god, we can't even get a clean singles match between Dusty Rhodes and Randy Savage. Fuck off.
The whole match was a bunch of bullshit. Sherry interfered constantly. Savage hit Dusty in the head with a ring bell. Like it was shenanigans for the whole match.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But man, why? Why? I would love to see a legit match between those two dudes. Is that a thing that ever
Not that I'm
happens?
aware of.
Bro,
I mean,
come
I'd
on!
have to look, but I guess cage
Oh,
match. If anything has it, it's probably cage match.
yeah.
You know,
Fuck me.
we'll quickly see if there were any
I
televised
wouldn't be
matches
surprised if they
between.
ran it on a house show, but I also wouldn't be surprised
It's
if those house
probably
shows were fucky.
the house show loop. They probably did wrestle Randy Savage.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if that shit also ended in DQs. Because fuck me.
Let's see. They wrestled. Randy beat Dusty by countout on a Saturday night's main event. Randy beat Dusty Rhodes in 2 minutes on SummerSlam 1990.
Jesus Christ, come on.
Then there's the mixed tag at Mania. Then this primetime match I just mentioned. And then the Royal Rumble match. Those are the only televised matches. Now, they wrestled a shit ton on house shows where most of the time either Dusty and they usually, if it was Dusty and Randy, usually it ended in a count out.
Bruh.
And if it was a mixed tag, now after post WrestleMania, Dusty started pinning Randy at house shows.
Okay.
Well, and then in mixed tags, they would run back the Mania mat tag on house shows, and Dusty and Sapphire would always win.
Okay, sure, fair enough, I guess. Fine. God damn it.
But yeah, in terms of televised matches between the two, it's just those.
Unfortunate.
Anyway,
all right, moving on.
Yeah, the Earthquake and Jimmy Hart were on the Brother Love show on Superstars, and they just hyped up beating Hercules. We get the WrestleMania 6 main event contract signing, which was an insane visual. Hogan they're in the same office they were in for the Andre Hogan's contract signing. Hogan is in his regular gear. Warrior is in regular clothes, but with a face paint on.
Yeah, what the fuck? And he's got his hair tied back. It feels so wrong. You sent me that picture.
Mm-hmm. Hogan is just at WrestleMania, brother, the light that is Hulkamania is going to destroy you. He says a couple lines. And then Warrior has an entire rant for 2 minutes. And he talks about how he's going to steal the power of those who doubt holding the WWF title, referring to the Hulkamaniacs, and the power of those who have no fear, holding his own Intercontinental title of his Warriors.
Yeah.
They started bringing in the power. These are two powers that will be combined into one person at this point. And I will get more into what this happened as this feud in the last 3 weeks when I get to it. We had Ronnie Garvin versus Earthquake, and Earthquake wins. Big
just
shock
clean,
there.
Fair, hey, yeah, fair enough. Hey, now that he's not the Canadian Earthquake, he's allowed to, I don't know, be cool and win shit.
Mm-hmm. Bobby Heenan in studio says that he will be setting up a blue van to sell WWF merchandise out of over the weekend.
That's I'm sure that'll FBI, open up.
We get the Colossal Connection versus the Rockers, which is a fascinating kind of Andre versus Shawn Michaels, a pairing that obviously didn't happen often.
Did we get that teased on our last episode?
I think we've gotten that teased a little bit before, yeah.
Okay.
I think the Rockers were
wait, that would actually be sick as fuck. Okay, cool.
It was all right until Demolition ran out and just beat up the champs and caused the DQ. The Colossal Connection didn't even cheat. The Demolition just ran in to beat their ass. It's not like they didn't even shenanigansy. This is babyface comeuppance. They just were having the match.
Yeah, no.
But for a while there,
it's a cool thing that Shawn Michaels has shared the ring with Andre the Giant before. That's so wild to think about.
Yep. And then kind of the ending bit here is we get the end of the bit of Bobby Heenan needs tickets. is Gorilla Monsoon got Bobby Heenan 30 tickets.
Okay. Why?
Just a whole, just because that's how many he said he needed. He said he needed 30 tickets.
Yeah, that's okay.
Fine, and he did the business, and so I guess just to hold one over on Brain that he needed Gorilla's help for this.
Fair enough.
Okay, WrestleMania 6. There are 14 matches plus the advertised bit where the Rhythm and Blues are going to play Honky Honky Burnin' Love. Mm-hmm. And, you know, as we normally do for podcasts, for the pay-per-view episodes, we cut her down to 2 matches.
Okay.
And in true WrestleMania 6 tradition, we're only watching 6 matches.
Yes.
Of the 15 things I just said.
Yes.
The pay-per-views at this point in time
are fucked.
they give a lot of time to a few big matches, and then everything else is super short filler matches. So I will go over the matches one by one. If there's any story bits that I think we need to still be reminded of, I will bring them up, as well as which ones we're actually going to watch. I will go ahead and get out front just to not spoil when this happens during the show. But I tried so hard, but we're not watching Rhythm and Blues debut Honky Honky Burnin'
Love. I thought for sure you were going to make me fucking suffer through that shit.
I tried. If I could have fit it in, asshole. I would have. But,
well, I still have to deal with that other thing. So, you know, it's not all sunshine and lollipops.
I will be watching the entire show, and we will be getting the bit by bit of what happens with Honky Honky Burnin' Love. Okay, so not a match. There's a match that happened as a dark match, but I'll just throw it out there. Paul Roma fought the Brooklyn Brawler in a dark match.
Are we in? Remind me. We are in the time when Brooklyn Brawler is allowed to win sometimes.
Yeah, he's not a total jabroni jobber yet.
Yeah,
I mean he's getting there. He's rapidly approaching, but you know, not there yet. Then first match of the show, we're not gonna watch it. Coco Beware versus Rick Martel. This has no story. Rick Martel spent more time beefing with Beefcake over his torn up jacket.
Why? Oh my god, some of these matches were so random. Okay.
Well, whatever. Then next match, the first match that we will going to watch, it's the Colossal Connection versus Demolition for the tag team titles. Mm-hmm. You know, this is just a battle of 2 big beefy tag teams fighting each other.
Big beefy boys.
Yep. We're going to watch that because it's one of the bigger matches here. Next match, Hercules versus Earthquake.
Another match of big beefy boys.
Yeah, there's not a lot of story here. There is some in that Earthquake has been cutting promo. I mean, he went on the Brother Love show.
Earthquake's been cutting promos. That's new.
Yeah, he can do some promos of mostly just yell about how an earthquake is coming.
They sure just started giving him a lot more dignity when he stopped being. They're like fuck them Canadians, you know. It doesn't matter to us what you do behind closed doors, but you know, don't shove it in our faces, all right?
Yeah, don't be a dirty Canadian in public.
Don't be waving a maple leaf, you know, in front of my dick or whatever, right?
Yeah. Okay. I will go use this point in time to bring up that I did make sure that we are watching all the celebrity bullshit that is in WrestleMania. Look, I feel like you gotta. It's WrestleMania. You gotta do the celebrity bullshit.
Haven't we bigly downgraded on celebrity bullshit between 1 and 6?
We have. Here's the celebrities on this show.
Okay.
Robert Goulet is
singing. Oh, hey! Oh, yeah, he's singing the Canadian national anthem. Daddy!
Yeah, and then Rona Barrett, famous celebrity gossip columnist.
Oh, fuck! Who is it implied? Isn't it implied she's sleeping with Gene Okerlund or something?
No, with Jesse Ventura.
Jesse.
That's a whole bit. But she's also been advertising that she has got the scoops on where Miss Elizabeth has been.
Yes.
Because Miss Elizabeth disappeared from TV essentially after the Mega Powers broke up and Randy Savage turned heel, and the whole story was like, what side is Elizabeth going to be on? Yeah. She ends up kind of taking a side of neither side and stopped appearing on television. Like she's been gone. She's just been gone.
If that had connection to anything outside of
But Rona Barrett promises that she has an update on what's been going on with Miss Elizabeth.
Okay.
And then we also have been advertising Steve Allen.
Who?
The comedy writer who was the original host
comedy writer.
Show. Well, he was the original host of The Tonight Show.
Oh, okay, sure, fine, whatever.
And he's famous. He's famous as being a musician. He's written tons of shit, and he plays piano and all that. And he's going to be telling jokes. He's got jokes.
Making them funnies. Oh, I'm sure it'll be. Well, here's the question: how much creative control will Vince McMahon actually give him? Like, oh, I know you're a comedy writer, but we write the jokes around here, man.
Yeah.
Christ.
We'll see how Steve Allen does.
Oh boy.
Okay. Then with this next match that we are going to watch, Mr. Perfect versus Brutus Beefcake. I mean, this is one of the longest running stories we've seen in
for real.
Of Mr. Perfect cut the hair, Brutus Beefcake with his stupid gardening shears cut the hair of the genius Lanny Poffo. And Mr. Perfect is mad about it, and Mr. Perfect is the heel in this situation.
Which
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
You get away with anything if you're a face.
No, it's cheeky and fun how Brutus Beefcake assaults
violated
cuts their hair. That's very
violates people's consent and defaces their bodies. But great,
absolutely hilarious. Love this guy.
It's awesome. Great. Keep going, guys. Keep it up.
Noted babyface.
Noted baby. That's one of my favorite long-running things on our show is noted babyface. It makes me so happy. Yes. Noted babyface, forcible haircut giver, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So then the next match that we're not going to watch, the Hart Foundation versus the Bolsheviks.
We're not watching that? Boo.
No. Did try to squeeze that in, but we're not watching it.
I appreciate you making the effort, all right?
I tier ranked every single match on this show of what in the order we need to miss them in. It was 4 tiers. I only got through the first 2 tiers of matches.
That's okay, interesting.
And then Hearts versus Bolsheviks, Hercules and Earthquake, and Rhythm and Blues were on tier 3.
Damn.
Because they had some amount of television build. So I was like, we got to get there next.
And also, we just love us some Hart Foundation. But, sacrifices must be made.
Yeah, and tier 4 is obviously this was not on television at all. They just threw this shit out there.
They just said, it's WrestleMania. Fuck you.
Yeah. Anyway, then the next match, actually, have I skipped it accidentally? I did. I did accidentally skip the match that Peacock already cut for us.
Oh, hey.
Roddy Piper versus Bad News Brown. The reason that match has been cut, for those of you who don't know, is because reasons Roddy Piper and the Bad News Brown has kind of become a race thing.
Yeah, for some reason.
Which I didn't get the connection. Maybe I zoned out too hard during Bad News Brown promos. That's a very big possibility. But I didn't catch the part where he made it about race to where Roddy is then it's not about being black or being white. It's about that you're a jerk.
And then he wore half blackface. Yes,
he has started wearing half black paint on his face.
It's not about race. Now let me blackface half of my face.
He's like, I can be white, I can be black. actual thing he said.
No!
And
I can be violet sky, I can be purple, I can be purple. Anyway.
He said he can be anything, but he can't be yellow.
Oh my
he's
god.
not a coward.
That's so great. Yeah, that doesn't have any bad connotations to it either.
That has no racial connotations to saying yellow, but no.
All the way off.
No, absolutely not. Anyway, Roddy Piper is just now constantly appearing like this. He wrestled a match like it. He will wrestle the match at WrestleMania like that. With half blackface. So Peacock cut the whole damn thing out.
Based?
And in case you think like, oh, I guess Bad News Brown is an okay dude. No, because he has now been like he's been calling Roddy a skirt wearing freak, and he said it don't matter if you're a man, if you think you're a man or if you think you're a woman, I'm gonna beat you in Mania.
Ah, beautiful.
So like this is like weird racism versus weird homophobia.
Absolutely. That is what I'm all about here in my wrestling. This is the apex, the crossover between the racism x queer phobia. Beautiful. Absolutely. Outstanding. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, so we're not watching it. I'm not bothering to go, and even though I'm going to watch the whole show, I'm not going to go bother to look up the match to get the complete experience. Then next match is the Barbarian versus Tito Santana.
Okay.
This is the Barbarian's first big match ever since being sold to Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yeah, that whole weird breaking up whatever, it's fine, whatever, stupid.
Yeah, anyway, the next match that we will be watching, Randy Savage and Queen Sherry versus Dusty Rhodes and Sweet Sapphire. Like, I mean, we have to, you know?
The most deeply serious version of this match. There is nothing else we could have done with this storyline. It had to be the first ever mixed tag match in the WWF that Dusty Rhodes explained in the most confusing way possible. It's we're getting Dusty and Savage in the ring together. We're getting Dusty and Savage in the ring together. Count your blessings, David.
You should. Okay.
That wasn't foreboding at all.
Next match that we're not watching, the Orient Express versus the Rockers.
Oh, shit.
The Rockers have kind of mentioned the Orient Express once or twice on TV, but it's mostly a match with no real story to it.
Yeah, sure, why not, I guess.
I mean, two of the more athletic teams in the WWF.
That would be a better one as an exhibition match to watch. That would actually be a more exciting.
For sure. I think if we had gotten down to tier 4 and I still need another match, I would have strongly considered this one.
I would have been down with it.
Next match that we will not be watching. Dino Bravo versus Jim Duggan.
Okay.
USA.
Oh,
wait. I don't know.
Dino Bravo not USA?
No, we talked about this. He's Italian Canadian.
Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah, whatever. Sure. Woo, Hacksaw. He's got a board. He's gonna hit you with his board. And
the WWF sold foam boards because
the foam boards, the foam 2x4s. I will never be over that. But that shit sold like hotcakes. God damn it.
Yeah, so after we're only watching 3 of the first 11 matches on the show, we are going to watch 3 of the last 4. Okay. So very back heavy here.
Literally.
Yes. Next match that we're going to be watching, Ted DiBiase versus Jake Roberts. Jake still has the $1 million title. It's still in Damien's bag.
Yeah, Ted DiBiase has somehow completely failed with his millions of dollars of resources to engineer any kind of solution to this problem.
Ever since he has gotten an official match with Jake Roberts, he has stopped trying to get the belt back. It's like he just is like, I'll just wait till April 1st and get it at WrestleMania. Like he's not even trying to get it back before then now. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Amazing. And the next match that we're definitely going to watch.
We're definitely going to watch.
Akeem, the African Dream, versus the Big Boss Man. You know, Big Boss Man turned babyface because he didn't want to be a dirty cop. Just even though he is cool with police brutality, just gonna again make sure that we remember that. And so he is now having to fight his former tag team partner of the Twin Towers, who is a white guy pretending that he has roots from the deepest, darkest part of Africa.
I still don't understand why they did this character. Who thought this was well, we know who thought it was a good idea, but how, even in Vincent Kennedy McMahon's like twisted ass mind, how, why, what? I hate it. Okay, Big Boss Man babyface, as much as the police brutality thing is like, what the fuck? I kind of dig him, so like one half of this is fine enough, I guess, but holy fuck. Why? Why does Akeem exist? Stop it. Bad touch. Ah!
Yeah. So what a cursed team I just said there. The Twin Towers featuring a cop and a fake African.
Yep.
All of that ages badly, really.
At least he's not in blackface, I guess. Like, at least he is just white. This could be even worse somehow.
It could be. Speaking of even worse, the next match that we're not watching is Rick Rude versus Jimmy Snuka.
Good. Correct. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no real story to it. But hey, Rick Rude is hot, and Jimmy Snuka murdered his girlfriend.
Yeah, so, perfectly evenly matched people here.
Yes. And then, of course, the main event, the Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. So here I kind of have actual plot to talk about, I guess, in that we have been charting the arc of this storyline through the promos of these two idiots and trying to find a real narrative.
Well, what the fuck else is there? There's been no cool in-ring shit that really happened. Like,
no, it's just them almost hitting. It's them almost hitting each other.
Oh my god, it's the okay.
So the feud started with Hulk Hogan, trying to see what this warrior guy is all about.
Yeah.
Because he felt the power of the warrior, and it felt like an equal power to him, and he wanted to know if the warrior was of the devil. We made a lot of jokes about Hogan being like Claude Frollo, and honestly, what I'm going to say tonight just adds on to this idea.
Okay.
So, we had that part. And then eventually Hogan, after like being saved by the warrior and having a couple more almost in-ring confrontations with him, he's kind of been like, maybe you're one of mine, dude. Are you a former Hulkamaniac?
He's so paranoid about which cult fucking warrior originated from.
This story starts becoming more about the idea of like Hogan losing the faith of his Hulkamaniacs to the warrior, and which there's a real meta story here because they very much saw Warrior as the next Hogan. They wanted that to be him. So there is this whole idea of like, are you who is the chosen one who will lead the Hulkamaniacs to Hulk of Heaven or whatever?
Who the second coming, my only begotten son. Insert your preferred religious imagery here.
And Warrior has kind of been trying to sow the seeds of doubt of like your Hulkamaniacs are losing faith in you because they see my power.
And so you should crash a plane and go fucking die, you fucking useless old man.
See, now there's the big turning point. Is he tells Hogan to go crash a plane.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly, Hogan stops trying to give good faith reads to the Warrior.
Yeah,
Like,
really?
suddenly, this is about, like, he has now realized that they are two equal powers. Like, one is the sun and one is the moon. The darkness of the power of the Warrior. And he prayed to his God. He went to Venice Beach. He rode the Harley Davidson and he prayed to God. And God told him that Hulkamania will live forever. I'm
His
not
Mecca.
kidding. He said that legitimately.
I'm still not over the fact that the Venice Beach gym is his, like, I don't know, meditation grounds, his religious home
Yeah.
of his ancestors.
And
Instead of taking a Eucharist, he injects holy roids,
yeah. And he says the power of light will conquer over the darkness. This has become a Kingdom Hearts feud.
Oh no! No! Oh
Light
no!
versus darknesses.
Do you think the light will defeat the darkness, brother? No! Hulk Hogan!
And
I think the darkness will defeat the light!
meet me on the ground of the Keyblade Graveyard, Hulk Hogan, where the 7 lights and the 13 darknesses will rage, and the Keyblade War will be renewed again, Hulk Hogan.
You will know what it is to be Norded, Hulk Hogan!
Instead of the X sigil to get Norded
it's
by the Warrior, it's
face
the face paint.
God fucking damn it. Oh no. Anyway.
This is okay. So this has now become darkness versus light, and Warrior, for his part, doesn't disagree with that. Like, Warrior's like, you're the power of darkness, and he's like, yep, okay, that's right.
Sure, correct. I guess. Yeah, I mean, yeah, correct, totally. I'm the Dark Prophet.
It is dependent, up to you if you think that Warrior actually thinks that, or if he's letting Hogan psych himself out by thinking that he is of evil darkness. But on the Claude Frollo arc, we have now reached the part where he is putting Warrior to the pyre. He gave Warrior a chance to be his, metaphorically, by becoming the chosen one of the Hulkamaniacs. But now he has decided that the Warrior must be destroyed.
Hellfire, dark fire, brother.
Yep.
Christ almighty. Anyway.
I claim sanctuary, Hulk Hogan.
Fucking hell. Oh my god. Stupid.
I'm losing to a bird, brother.
I ain't putting over no birds, dude.
That goat statue's pretty hot, eh, dude?
No, wait, no, stop. No, bad touch. You stop that.
I will not.
Oh my god. I want out. I want to be free.
As I said at the press conference thing, the Warrior is now, like, we're talking about the powers of two becoming one, referring to the belt, like having the belts as well as the metaphorical powers of their various fan bases. And yeah, Warrior is taken to calling the Hogan's fans the ones who doubt, and his own fans the ones who have no fear.
Okay, those are descriptors. Those are some descriptors.
Oh yeah, those are descriptors, brother.
Okay.
The holy scriptures of Hulkamania spoke of the ones who have no fear, brother.
The ones who have no fear.
This is like the book of Revelations in the book of Hulkamania.
Oh my god, the end times, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are I guess Hogan, Warrior, and the 2 fucking belts.
Yes, absolutely.
Something like that.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Makes about as much sense as any of the other, like, fucking theology established here.
Of course, they have otherwise just been yelling at each other in promos. So not a lot of other story to go over here. But did want to bring up, as we have tried to chart the arc of this as a cohesive narrative, not an easy task, mind you.
Not terribly, no.
I did need to bring up that the promos have changed yet again.
What?
Well, yeah, because of the darkness thing.
Okay, fair.
The Kingdom Heartsing has happened.
The Kingdom Heartsing, the Nording of the promos, yes.
You will be Norded, Hulk Hogan.
God damn it.
Okay. So if you'd like to watch along with us, you can do that at Peacock, NBC Universal's a streaming service. It has all of WWE's streaming content there. And we'll be back in the back half to discuss WrestleMania 6.
WrestleMania 6, baby! Let's fucking do this.
And we are back. We have finished WrestleMania 6, the ultimate challenge.
This was not what I was expecting. In some ways, I knew exactly what I was expecting. In other ways, I had no idea what I was expecting. What I am about to divulge over the next couple of hours is almost disturbing to me. In the I absolutely did not see this the fuck coming levels of things to talk about, both on just a generally unhinged level, but also on kind of an earnest level. I don't know what to make of this. We're gonna be going on a journey together, folks.
This was the WrestleMania of all time.
This really was the WrestleMania of all fucking time.
Like, this says something. This was like a top 3 WrestleMania in 1990.
Yes.
In 1990. No, let's hold your horses. No.
I was going to say, hold the hell up.
It is worse than 3 and 5, better than 1, 2, and 4.
It's better than... I thought 1 and 2 were well regarded.
No, they're dog. 1 is like usually forgiven for being the first one. 2 is almost universally derided as dog shit.
Except for Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat.
No, that's in WrestleMania 3. You're thinking of
WrestleMania 3. Fuck me. Okay, yeah, yes, okay, yep, never mind. All right, yep, got it. All right, I'm on the same page now.
Mm-hmm. And then WrestleMania 4 was the first Trump Plaza show that was like a one-night tournament for the WWE title that had like 18 matches.
Yeah, which is
that
insane.
All sucked. And then WrestleMania 5 was the second Trump Plaza show headlined by Hogan and Randy Savage. Generally thought of as pretty good.
Okay, very nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was something.
Yeah, okay. And to be clear, guys, I watched all 3.5 hours.
You're so insane. You're so insane.
Somebody has to have seen all the filler matches.
No, somebody does not. They're so worthless.
So we open the show in the galaxy of space.
I want to point out that Vince's very first words here are "upon the examination," and we pan across like space to see some constellations, and like the first constellation we see is like Ursa Major or something like that. But the way it pans, it looks kind of like it's about to be a uterus, which upon the examination, and then it's the uterus.
It's funny.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh Jesus! Oh no!
It's funny, guys. It's a uterus. They'll never know.
We're examining. We're gynecologists now. Yeah. Vince clearly took some allocution lessons and also
I'm part of the FBI, a female body inspector.
No. Yeah.
I mean, Vince would make
some allocution lessons and some coke from Warrior before recording this, considering the insane like poetry that he was spitting. But we find ourselves staring at Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior constellations. I've always looked up
the two most powerful forces in the universe.
I've always loved at night looking up and seeing Hulkster Major shining bright as he drops the leg down on Orion for the 1, 2, 3 brother and gets his belt. The Hulk constellation actually refuses to put over light pollution, brother.
Hey, brother Ursa, you were gonna put the belt on Ursa Major, dude. I don't think he's ready, Jack. I think he's gonna put the belt on me.
You see that Ursa Minor fucker? He's weighing Ursa Major down. Ursa Major's got to shake him off before he can come for my belt, dude.
No, dude. I'm afraid that's not gonna work. But then we cut to the arena. The commentary team for tonight is Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura.
Yes, this combo.
I have a lot of commentary notes actually this time, and oh boy, do I have a lot of commentary notes about one thing in particular.
There's a lot of things in particular that you could be talking about, and I'm not entirely sure. I have an overarching.
Fair. We'll get to it.
I have an overarching theme. According to Jesse Ventura, WrestleMania is greater than the Super Bowl, is greater than the World Series, is greater than the Rolling Stones. Apparently, I guess Jesse's at home making tier lists.
Yep. But we got down to the ring to start the festivities. It is Robert Goulet is here to sing.
Oh my God, the star power! They got Wheezy's singing voice from Toy Story 2.
Oh my!
Oh my! They're really lighting up the sky with these stars, brother.
Yeah.
Honestly, it made me happy. Being a giant theater nerd, that is my Lancelot from Camelot right there.
Yeah.
We love it. Godspeed, Robbie.
Yeah, so they just play it straight. He just sings "Oh Canada." We get sweeping shots of Canada.
Yeah. This segment endorsed by Canada's tourism board. Actually, man, if I don't get Robert Goulet like running down to the ring later to do a run-in spot in full plate armor, I want my money back. Fuck you. We
get the first match of the show that only I watched. There's plenty of those to go around tonight.
Yes.
It is the Birdman, Coco Beware versus the model, Rick Martel.
I do want to point out real quick that I did quickly see Howard Finkel starting to announce this match, and it just said on his title plate, the Fink. Howard Finkel says, "I'm the Fink," and everyone else is like, no.
Hey,
they trying to get that over? Why?
Yeah, they're trying to get it over. He's the Fink.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, anyway, proceed.
First, I do make a note here of as Coco Beware is coming down to the ring, Jesse Ventura is like, well, that Robert Goulet, he reminded me of Axl Rose. And Gorilla sits there and he's like, I'm not sure who you're referring to, Jesse. And Jesse goes, Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses.
Oh my God.
And the girl like, oh yes, I am. Oh, that Axl. Okay.
Yes, totally. Gorilla's just like shaking his head silently and shrugging at Jesse like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Who is Guns N' Roses, Jesse?
Who has guns and who has roses and why are they together? Yes. Yeah.
So, Rick Martel, Jesse talks about when Rick Martel comes out about how, he sprays arrogance all over himself when he goes to Hollywood. People all around can smell it, how good he smells. And Gorilla's like, oh, brother. Anyway, sure. Rick Martel submits Coco Beware in a Boston Crab in a perfectly serviceable TV match. It goes a couple minutes.
What a great way to kick off WrestleMania! A perfectly serviceable TV match. Let's go, baby.
It's a whole lot of fine.
It's a whole lot of yup.
Now, it's time to go backstage with Mean Gene, who is with, as Mean Gene puts it, the coloscopy connection.
Was he trying to say the colonoscopy connection?
I feel like that's what he was going for, but he did. Yeah. What he said was coloscopy.
Because then Bobby the Brain Heenan pulls out the absolute thinker of a line of if you want to talk about evacuation. So I assume he was trying to say colonoscopy. Bobby, this was a great little bit. Bobby Heenan goes like, we know how we're going to, because Colossal Connection, they're going to commence Demolition. We know how we're going to treat Demolition, don't we, gentlemen? And Haku and Andre speak at the same time, but Haku says, we're going to eliminate them. And Andre goes,
eliminate them.
Yeah.
But then after that, we cut to Sean Mooney with Demolition, and Axe is like, "You want to know why I'm called Axe?" No, I have never asked that in my life.
I just assumed it was because they demolish things. What?
But it's because he can chop down the biggest redwood, and he's gonna chop down the big Polynesian trunk, and he's gonna yell timber when he does it. And then Smash is like, I'm gonna stick Andre in a car, and he's gonna go off a cliff and smash into the cliff.
Smash. Yeah, I feel like he's trying to like hop on the like insanity of fucking.
But he did not have a good answer for why he's named Smash.
Yeah,
and then Sean Mooney's like, "Gentlemen, this is starting to sound like a demolition derby." And Demolition is like, "Now you're getting it."
Sure, okay, I guess. I swear to God,
these guys get away from Mr. Fuji and become the corniest wrestlers on the planet.
Their faces now, and so they're just gonna lean into doing whatever crazy shit they feel like, and everyone's gonna be super into it, I guess. I swear to God, man, Axe's makeup looks like it was designed during fucking Picasso in his cubist area. I swear to God.
I see that.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. I don't understand why he looks like that, but you know what? Good for him. He's culturing himself.
Yeah.
Jesse, we cut to the ring. Jesse remarks that Andre is looking bigger than I've ever seen him, which, really? By what? Okay.
Anyway, I did note the Colossal Connection getting a jobber entrance. That's a good sign.
I know! They didn't even have a fucking entrance! And then meanwhile, Demolition out here in their gear, once again making me think they maybe just accidentally wandered into the WWF from a leather daddy convention.
They are strapped to hell.
They are strapped to everything. These guys, I swear to God,
how did this even happen in 1990?
Yeah, I'm surprised
in 1990.
Catch the shit out of this one in 1990.
How did this happen? This they're wearing stuff that would be that if you wore that to Pride, for some kind of parents would be like, think about the children about that.
Think about true.
If you wore this to Pride, and I don't know how the fuck this happened.
I don't goddamn know. It was a different time, I guess. This match is interesting because it's Haku doing like 90% of the work, and then Andre just kind of ambles into the ring to like do some poorly executed interference spots.
Andre is no longer in physical condition to do very much without being able to just hold on to the ropes.
I know. You do feel really bad for the guy. Meanwhile, Axe and Smash are okay. Okay, Austin, you are still far more familiar with this era than I am.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't tell. Do Axe and Smash have a very interesting, like, halting shared physicality, or are they just bad?
I mean, I personally have always felt Demolition feels like a knockoff Road Warriors. We got Road Warriors at home. So, like,
interesting.
I don't think anyone is in this. I think the Road Warriors are more capable of good matches than Demolition, but I think both teams fit into that archetype of like, they're here to be badasses that beat people up really quickly. Yeah. If you ask them to do more than that, it is going to be trouble.
Well, because like the way they just have this very like robotic way of moving, like it's very like quick and harsh and halting, and I don't know if that's on purpose or if it just sucks,
or if this is just as good as it gets for them.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed by Smash's work as the Repo Man. So maybe this is just
forgetting that he was the fucking Repo Man. Oh my God. Oh, how the mighty fall. Oh, it's so bad. How the fuck do you go from being Smash to being the Repo Man? That's the crazy part to me.
I don't actually know how Axe got fired, as a matter of fact. Like, now that I think
he got fired? That's why he was gone.
I mean, he's not.
Get the fuck out of
Dodge. Now I'm curious, because it's like, he's not in the company in 92. That's why you do the stupid ass, Repo Man stuff. but I have no idea why it stopped. Why it stopped. Why he
Because
left.
they were
Oh,
clearly
they
super fucking
turned heel.
over.
They turned heel again. That's nice.
What?
In
Okay.
a weird way.
Because they were insanely over here. Like legitimately, like people were fucking digging them during this match.
Okay, apparently, he had just been having like IRL medical problems.
Okay, well,
At the
fuck.
time, that kind of led to them to like slowly replacing him with Crush. Before he became Shaka Bra, he was
Shaka Bra.
New Demolition member Crush, and then he left the company at Survivor Series 1990.
Oh fuck. Okay.
And they wouldn't he wouldn't tag team together with Smash for 16 years after that.
I'm surprised they got back together in 2006. Was that like the like Veterans Battle Royale or whatever? Like when they brought?
No, they're just they've actually Axe has never actually been back to WWE. He just does like indie shit.
Oh, okay.
You know what? He's actually until he retired in 2017, he was just working the indies.
Hey man, get that bread.
Yeah.
So there is actually kind of a cool little spot where like Haku and Smash are like back to back. They have their arms locked around each other. And Smash like pulls Haku backwards to hit
the
like a
slow crawl crucifix pin on this.
Yeah,
like the
and then Andre just
immediately runs in and kicks him.
Okay, Kick is putting it very nicely. He vaguely taps them with the toes of his boot, and then
Big Man was doing what he could.
I also somehow only just now learned that there's apparently a 5 count for like getting out of the ring after a tag.
Yeah.
And rich people actually face consequences for committing.
That's why it's
okay.
AEW in theory has a 10 count for that.
Okay, well that explains a whole lot actually.
Referee's discretion on that 10 count. You
practically infinite. I saw a funny moment where Haku just like fucking like waves his arms around for just karate chopping at his fucking throat.
Haku is kind of hilarious. It's actually kind of hilarious.
Yeah, I'm kind of into him.
I don't know how much he knows legitimate martial arts. Maybe he does, and I'm just making fun of actual martial arts. But he has very cartoony martial arts hand movements as he does chops and kicks.
I know, but it doesn't amount to anything because then he just like he just jabs you in the fucking throat. He also
if I am making fun of actual martial arts, I want to just apologize to Haku right now. Please don't come kill me.
He fucking would too.
He would. Gotta be careful with that.
He'll get you in his submission move that targets the trapezius, aka the shoulders. That seems survivable.
Hey, it's very painful when you get gripped on the shoulder very strongly
and have like 10 different potential points of egress from that hold. Okay, sure. Outstanding. Fuck, what else? The double clothesline. We got a double clothesline spot. MJF and Adam Cole out.
Yes. I mean, the match is serviceable. It's not. It would be better if Andre could be more involved, I think.
Correct, because it is really apparent that he's just not able to do.
He just can't.
Anything.
But action smash double clothesline Andre into a corner to knock him out, knock him down. But then Andre gets back up. He grabs Smash and he sets up Haku to do the thrust kick. But malfunction at the junction. What's your function? Messing up tag teams, and I didn't think to keep doing the lyrics to this song after that.
One of these days,
I will come back with a full parody. Anyway,
I'm excited.
Malfunction at the junction. Andre gets kicked in the face and then gets tied up in the ropes. And then,
again, lightest kick in the face ever, and he manages to get his whole ass body tangled in the ring ropes. Yes.
Yep. And then Demolition hit their finish move. It's like one of them holds him in like a backbreaker position, and the other like elbow drops onto him. I don't know what it's called, but they win. Demolition are the new tag team champions.
Three time.
Baby.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Heenan gets in the ring. He is fucking pissed.
He's chewing out Andre because that's clearly a good idea. Is to
poking at him, and he's like, and Andre's trying to be like, "Hey, I got Haku."
And Bobby Heenan is able to say in like view of the camera, "I'm the fucking boss." He actually, you can hear him say,
I missed him say that.
Yeah, you can hear him say it. He goes, "I'm the fucking boss. I'm the fucking boss." And I'm like, what the hell? That doesn't seem legal.
He didn't know the mics were picking him up.
Yeah, well, then why was he saying that? Like, if the mics weren't picking him up, who the fuck was gonna hear him? But yeah, Bobby Heenan, for the brain, uses his big old wrinkly membrane to think that it's somehow a good idea to get right in the face of Andre the Giant, start chewing him out. And Andre, he's going, "Oh no, I go."
But then Bobby Heenan slaps Andre in the face, and Andre immediately like stands up, and he grabs Heenan by the collar, and he just starts smacking Bobby Heenan around. This is the final babyface turn of Andre the Giant.
Yeah, I didn't realize he got a face turn at WrestleMania 6. I thought he stayed heel until like the end of his life.
No, he does get one last face. We get to see the full circle on this because we did an entire arc about the heel turn. And now we get to see him turn babyface.
3 years later.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, the face turn from Andre, which gets a huge pop from the crowd. I think they were all very relieved that they were allowed to cheer for this poor man again.
Yay, we can cheer for Andre again.
Yeah. But then Andre turns around and there's
Haku is so okay. So like he throws Heenan out of the ring. So he's not looking at. He's looking at
ragdolls.
And then, but Haku is in full crouching tiger stance, waiting for Andre to turn around. And then he does, and he goes for the thrust kick, and Andre just catches his foot.
Yeah. And then Andre, like, he tries to go to the cart, and then Haku tries to follow him, and he just fucking
this was so funny.
Andre's just out here like, I ain't walking up that damn ramp.
Haku and Bobby are trying to catch the cart back, and Andre just throws him out. and takes the card for himself.
Absolutely. He fucking put in his time. He's not walking up that ramp. Are you kidding me? No.
Yeah.
And then, Haku and Heenan look all flavors of pissed on the outside of the ring. Jimmy Hart out here giving the most boilerplate earthquake promo.
It really was.
It literally. Scientist, seismograph, epicenter, Richter scale. Oh, I got a bingo.
Bro, this is all their gimmick. All this gimmick is right now is them using like natural disaster terminology.
Yeah, I know. Fuck.
But anyway, the match then that only I watched, and you're probably better off for it. Hercules versus Earthquake. I mean, it's a very standard, like, big strong boy versus giant monster match, in that a big portion of the match is like, whoa, Hercules has never faced someone this big and strong before. Oh, he's almost knocked down Earthquake, and then Earthquake wins. He does.
They don't even fucking put over Hercules.
Now fuck him. Now fuck him. Earthquake has got to go feud with Hulk Hogan over the summer. Fuck him.
Wait, Earthquake is Hogan's next feud? Oh no. Oh man, Vince really did diagnose Hulk Hogan with old in 1990. Holy shit.
I mean, ironically, it was actually better than what he gives Warrior, which is a retread of his feud with Rick Rude.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he already had feuded with Root a bunch for the IC title, and then in the summer of 1990, they say, fuck it, let's run it back for the world title. And by then, everyone was about sick of that.
Oh my god. No fucking way, dude.
Yep.
Booker of the Year, man.
1990.
Yeah.
So Earthquake does his big splashy sit move on Hercules, and then after the match, he does it again, and Jesse Ventura's like, "Well, that's the aftershock, Gorilla." After
I've definitely heard that exact line on commentary before.
I'm sure they tell all the heel commentators to talk about the aftershock.
Talk about the aftershock. Say the line, heel commentators. The aftershock. Yay!
So he did it to him again, and Hercules is able to get up on his own power because he's so strong and awesome.
He's so strong, but he couldn't fucking beat the Earthquake.
He did take an L here.
Did take a massive L. All right, and now we have Queen of the Columns, Rona Barrett, interviewing. Oh my, Miss Elizabeth!
What are you doing here?
She has returned from exile, I guess. I paraphrase shit in the weirdest ways. My first note here is just, Rona says, "You're very beautiful. Please kiss me." Mwah, mwah, mwah. And then they rode off into the sunset in a sapphic fantasy.
Hold on. Okay. I mean, that's
Rona's very complimentary of Miss Elizabeth.
That's halfway correct. What actually happened, of course, is that she was like, wow, I talk with all these starlets of Hollywood, and many of them pale in your beauty. And Elizabeth,
like I said, please kiss me. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Yeah. Again, I said it was only half wrong. So she wants to know where Elizabeth has been, man, because she's pretty much been off TV ever since the Hogan Savage feud a year before. Elizabeth is like, well, it's true. Most of my involvement in the WWF these days is in an advisory capacity. To whom? About what?
Yeah,
I want to know.
Are they like breaking kayfabe? Did she actually have like a backstage role like at this time?
No.
Probably.
But she said she's staying away. She stayed away from the ring because she doesn't want to disappoint her fans. And Rona's like, what does that mean?
Rona's like, you lazy bitch. They want you. You're disappointing them by not being there. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, Elizabeth is like, well, in the past, I've had an opportunity to get involved, and I've been afraid to, not because I was afraid of getting hurt or anything, but because I was afraid I wouldn't do enough, and
I was afraid of my shitty fucking ex-husband.
And it would disappoint the fans. And Rona's like, no, the fans would just love to see you, no matter how much hell. What you doing was enough. And Elizabeth is like, you might be right. I'll be a more active Miss Elizabeth returning to the ring in the near future. Foreshadowing.
Smash cut to Halloween Havoc 1997, her breaking a whole ass fucking platter over her.
The culmination of 7 years.
I know, that's long-term storytelling right there.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Backstage, Sean Mooney is with Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
With impeccable line delivery from Sean Mooney, by the way. If I may very briefly do an impression. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, what are you doing?
Sean Mooney just seems impeccable. Like anyway, he's taking a look at Mr. Perfect's record. It's pretty impressive. But Beefcake is like, well, Po Buddy's nerfed. and everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ! That's a name I haven't heard since. Fuck.
I really did think about pulling up the entire. I did think about bringing up the actual Hannah Montana lyrics and keeping it going.
Austin the Knockout, what are you doing?
Listen, pal, I was actually super into the first couple seasons of Hannah Montana as it was airing.
Like, I never really watched it, but it did seem like it was a fun show.
It was.
As a sidebar, I was more of like a Sweet Life of Zack and Cody type of guy.
I was 4K no Los Dos. I watched so much Disney Channel, but
that's fair. Anyway.
That all leads to the next match, Mr. Perfect versus Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Yes. Lanny Poffo, the genius, is already in the ring. Jesse uses this as an opportunity to call Gorilla Monsoon fucking stupid. Gorilla out here like, yeah, where's your degree from? Your mom university?
Owned.
So owned.
So also Jesse Ventura suggests that Brutus Beefcake cut up that stupid jacket of his
well,
with his head.
So here's the thing. So Mean Gene, the drip expert, as we call him, right. Man, I call him that all the time, says that Brutus is out again. Remember, Brutus is the good guy here, and Mean Gene is the good guy commentator. So Mean Gene, in what is an attempt at a compliment, says that Brutus's outfit looks like a grenade went off in his pocket, and Jesse Ventura is out here with the actually far more reasonable take that yes, it looks like he cut that shit up with his own clippers. That's what I think he was going for. Why is Jesse
probably so this match is fine, I think.
It's totally fine.
It's not as I don't know. I guess in my mind I expected more. I don't know necessarily why, but you know,
Kurt Hennig is talented. Brutus Beefcake is
he's fine.
Talented. Yeah,
he can hold his own enough.
Well,
I just think this gimmick is stupid.
I thought Hennig would have like been able to carry him through to making a quality match out of
yeah.
Side. Hennig, I will say Hennig is like he's like the OG like fucking
bump like a fucking maniac.
Yeah, he he gets like Irish whipped into the corner, like leaps off against it and does like a goddamn backflip.
Yeah, he's nuts. I made note early in the match Brutus Beefcake does Fist of the North Star punches in the corner. That's how I wrote that.
God, that's yes, and we get official confirmation that fucking Mary Tyler Moore is here. So, you know, between Robert Goulet, Rona Barrett, and now fucking Mary Tyler Moore, WrestleMania 6, I am declaring it, is officially for the girlies. And by the girlies, I of course mean 1990s housewives. And you know what?
Yes.
Way to expand that demographic, Vince. I'm proud of you.
I wasn't ready for Mary Tyler Moore. I was like, what?
That was practically a fucking jump scare. It's like, Jesus Christ, I didn't realize this was a Dick Van Dyke Show reunion. Fuck.
Oh, no, shit. The Mary Tyler Moore Show live at WrestleMania?
Oh, my God. Outstanding.
No, and I have a bit with her later that David didn't watch.
Yeah, I apparently missed out
on. She is allegedly a fan of Brutus Beefcake. I doubt it.
She totally gets what's going on, you guys.
Just you wait. Anyway, Brutus is trying to do the sleeper, and then the genius jumps up on the apron and then very quietly drops the scroll in the ring.
Okay, nah, I'm calling bullshit. Lenny Poffo gets up on the apron and like he has the ref looking at him. He also has fucking Brutus looking at him, and he just like nonchalantly drops his like metal diploma into the ring, but in what should be full view of both the ref and fucking Brutus's like peripheral visions. But no, somehow neither of them catches this. And then
we got the same peripheral vision as that ref in the Goldberg match. In Halloween Havoc.
First Goldberg, now this. What the hell?
Anyway, it's perfect. Hits Beefcake in the face with a scroll. And then as Gorilla puts it, the pendulum has swung a whole 360 degrees. And then Jesse has to be like, what? It swung 180 degrees, Gorilla. If it swung 360, it'd be the exact same.
Yeah, maybe when earlier when Jesse was calling Gorilla stupid and said he hadn't actually like made it past 9th grade. You know, if my man doesn't like know his angles, I hate to say it, maybe Jesse had a point.
Hey man, he might not know his angles, but he knows his goddamn anatomy.
He knows.
And we will be getting to that.
I do retract that. I forgot what a master of anatomy Gorilla Monsoon is. He's out here being like, the trapezius orbitus stupidus is getting.
Just say the back, Gorilla.
What do you mean the back? I was talking about the buttocks. Anyway, yeah. So
So, like, we get an extended long period of time where Brutus Beefcake is just on his knees and Mr. Perfect is just kicking him and punching him in the face. Yeah, but then Beefcake grabs Perfect's legs, flips him up, and flips Perfect headfirst into the ring post, and Brutus Beefcake wins off that.
And of course, Mr. Perfect sells it as insanely as you could imagine. You know, I think my man like tumbled like 3 different times before hitting the mat. But yes, so Brutus fucking gets the dub because of course, and then he goes for the Clippers, except Lanny
Poffo tried to sneak off with the Clippers.
King of rolling nat 20s on his stealth checks. Fucking like tries to sneak off.
Unfortunately, though, he needed to roll a second stealth check, and that was
right. Yeah,
he rolled nat 20 sleight of hand, but he failed the stealth check to leave.
Yes. Yeah, the plate armor of his like graduation robes are clanging all the way up. So Brutus gets them back so he can ensure that more non-consensual haircuts are given out.
Jesse recalls this abuse, and I agree.
I also agree with this. And of course, Gorilla is fine with this. This starts a running theme we will see throughout the night of actually neither Jesse Ventura nor Gorilla Monsoon have any fucking principles. They are fine with whatever shenanigans from their respective morality side.
It's in their world. What you do isn't what makes something moral or not. It's who does it that makes it moral or not. So
because it's like almost cartoonish how in every match, like they trade positions on this. Like in one match, Gorilla's like, yeah, shenanigans. And Jesse's like, oh, no, that's just not fair. And then the next match, Gorilla's like, oh, come on now. Can't we have some decorum? Jesse's like, shut the fuck up, Gorilla. You have no idea what you're talking about. You got to do anything you can to win. Like, there is no principles, no consistency.
No.
It's terrible.
No. So Genius tries to run off with Perfect here. Beefcake grabs Genius, and Perfect just lays there dead, and I guess leaves him to die.
Yeah, pretty.
And he doesn't go back for Genius.
It's been long enough, I guess, since the fucking Royal Rumble that Lanny Poffo's hair actually has like grown back from the shitty ass haircut that.
Well, it's not going to be gone now.
Yeah. So Poffo, poor Lanny Poffo, gets a second non-consensual haircut.
Brutus Beefcake gets in the sleeper hold, knocks out Lanny Poffo. Gorilla's on commentary, be like, well, this is what the people want to see, Jesse, and so do I. And this is fine because this is all extracurricular activity. And Beefcake does bring out an actual pair of scissors, scissors, barber scissors. He's not trying to do the hedge clippers, and he just starts cutting off Genius's hair.
For what it's worth, I guess he's evening out the look after what he did last time. But I guess. Like, God damn it!
Well, then we get an extremely awkward cut past where Roddy Piper and Bad News Brown happened.
Oops! Oof! Ow!
Which, by the way, if you want to know why that ended, well, it was the immovable booking obstacle versus the unjobbable force. And so, of course, the answer to the Bad News Brown never jobbed to anybody. Roddy Piper never jobbed to anybody. Obviously, it ended in a double fucking count out.
This was the true. Yeah, that was a brilliant idea from Vince. Like, fucking book 2 of his, like, biggest prima donnas against each other at goddamn WrestleMania. Oh, yeah. I'm sure that'll come to a really satisfying conclusion, Vince.
And as a reminder to us all, this match was cut from the Peacock version, not of the network. The network still had it. I have watched this WrestleMania with that match. It's not like it's anything special, but they cut it because Roddy Piper does an entire promo and then the whole match painted half black.
I still can't believe. I actually can't believe they thought they were cooking with that. Like, I know ethnic pandering was Vince's bread and butter, but that's not ethnic pandering. That's just terrible.
Yeah. All right. So it's an awkward cut because you can tell they cut from it, and also Gorilla sounds like he's 80 yard because they mute the crowd from the match too. I assume because of Roddy's music, so they don't want to. Because they don't want to give away that.
Leave no trace.
So like the crowd is dead ass silent, and so Gorilla just throws to backstage to no noise sound. So yeah, it sounds like they just like edited him in post.
That's incredible. Honestly, with what a fucking mess this WrestleMania is of insanity, that's on brand. You know, it felt fitting. Speaking of, okay,
so Steve Allen is in the bathroom. He's in a shower room with a piano,
with a full ass piano.
The appropriate acoustic environment, and he is going to sing the Soviet national anthem with the Bolsheviks.
And the Bolsheviks show up,
and they fall for this. They should have known better.
I don't. And Steve Allen goes. All right, gentlemen. One from the top. 5, 6, 7, 8. I get no kick from Ukraine. What?
and then you think like, well, they're like, hey, that's not the song.
In 2023, that is a hell of a thing to hear from a 1990 WrestleMania 6.
Mm-hmm. Bro,
I was talking to I posted a clip of that to my Snapchat story, and Cam messaged me, and he made the excellent point of like, if WWE were still doing the ethnic pandering shit today, we'd have like, you know, for WrestleMania 39 we would have had like the Ukraine boys versus the mean Ruskies. And I don't want to think about what that would have.
Yeah, and then then the second song, then he goes, all right, let's go. This is a warm up. All right.
The weasel.
And then I didn't know the third song he did.
Oh,
but guess what? He did it a fucking again.
The only one I took note of was the I get no kick from Ukraine. That's going to be burned into my head. I'm not going to be able to hear I get a kick out of you without my mind going, I get no kick from Ukraine. Oh my god! Oh
damn!
my god.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Damn, this isn't how I needed to learn that Steve Allen was a tanky.
Yeah, fuck me! God damn it! Oh no! Oh Jesus! Yeah, and he keeps telling the you know, the boys that we're warming up, and they're like, "We're hot! We're hot!"
Stop, and then so then it seems like he's finally gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then someone flushes the toilet behind him, and Nikolai Volkov just pops off.
just goes into a blood rage. Yeah, the sound of a toilet flushing actually triggers, you know, his deep-seated like Soviet conditioning. Like, you know, it's like fucking like Captain America with Bucky has like the secret phrase to activate his like
so the secret and except the secret phrase is just, I get no love from Ukraine.
And followed by a toilet
whatever
flush,
that third song is, and then the toilet flush.
Oh my god! Oh, now I gotta look back up and see what that third song was, because that is gonna bother me now. Okay,
so the fifth match of the show, the Hart Foundation versus the Bolsheviks, and this match, you know what? This match was so good. I took notes on the whole thing. Let me go ahead and read it off for you.
Okay, fine.
Nikolai Volkov starts singing the Soviet national anthem to boos. Obviously. The Hart Foundation jump them while they sing. Neidhart knocks Volkov out of the ring. The Hart Foundation hit the heart attack on Boris Zukov and win in 17 seconds.
What the fuck?
Yes. It's 17 seconds.
You duded me. I thought for for sure that I was missing an actually good match. Fuck off.
Nope.
Oh my god. Okay. Well,
I consider that the most. I didn't show David the timestamps of what was when, only what times he needed to watch.
Yes.
And some of that was to preserve him knowing how long the actual matches we were going to watch was. But I admit, I also didn't want him to know how short the Art Foundation Bolsheviks was.
Oh, you. The disrespect.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Then, next match, though. There is another match to get to before we get to your next thing.
Oh, okay. Please.
The Barbarian versus Tito Santana.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing, I guess.
That match happened. In a show with multiple That Happened matches, this might be the most That Happened.
That happened? Yeah.
Anyway, Tito Santana hits the flying clothesline. He has the Barbarian pin, but oopsie doopsies, Bobby Heenan put Barbarian's foot on the ropes. And then the Barbarian hits a top rope flying clothesline and wins.
Congratulations.
Whoopity-doo. Then my next note is a recap video in my 1990 WrestleMania.
Yeah, I know. They kind of relied on that multiple times. Something I don't think we saw in the build up to this, or at least if we did, I forgot about it. Sapphire like doing a hair throw move on Sherry at one point, like early on in the feud. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about that.
We cut to backstage with Dusty and Sapphire. Dusty, in reference to the Macho King and Queen Sherry, says, "They ain't no kings or queens, daddy. This is proper America." And then
basically. And he's like, if they want to be royalty, where they'll see the dust in my sweet Sapphire. I've got the crown jewel.
They start.
Sean's like, what?
And Sean Mooney sells that like it's a thing, and I was like, wait, is this not just like some like proverbial crown jewel? Like, aren't they just talking about their own skill level?
Except you think that, except everyone else seems to think there's a real crown jewel.
Because
Sean Mooney does, and then, we'll get to it.
We'll get there.
I want to point out right now, as I saw Sherry come out, I wrote Sherry Martel in her finest evil queen core.
Bro.
Because I want to say that I fucking beat Gorilla Monsoon making the exact same observation.
Well, see, I just noted that they had the fucking drip, dude. Macho King and Sherry were like, they were dripping the fuck out. Like, this is, and Sherry like had this makeup going, like, holy fucking hell, dude. It absolutely incredible.
They also had actual servant people carrying the cart on foot.
Oh my god, I didn't catch that. That's actually awesome.
Yeah, that's why their cart moves so fucking slow. It's because they had actual people carrying them.
Oh my god. Holy shit. And then Dusty and Sapphire make their entrance. I have to say, I can't remember if I've said this before. I really dig Dusty's theme. I made a point to add that.
The WWF American Dream.
Yeah, the Common Man Boogie.
Common Man Boogie is a great song.
It actually is. I had like multiple songs that I added. Like, I finally got the kicker in the rear to add to my wrestling theme playlist, and yeah, that was one of them. We quickly find out that no, the crown jewel is not a metaphor. It is in fact Miss Elizabeth coming out to be in Dusty and Sapphire's corner, which I have to laugh. Elizabeth also enters to fucking Pomp and Circumstance, which is, Randy's theme song. What? Absolutely.
I want to back up here is that during Randy's entrance and Sherry's entrance, Jesse pipes in to say that, Randy, they pay their taxes, whatever you're trying to imply about that, Jesse. But all Gorilla has to say is, I'm sure they do.
I'm sure. I have no doubt.
He also doesn't know what that means.
He has no goddamn clue.
And then Jesse is like, well, Randy, the Macho King and Queen will literally have their hands full. Tubs of fun. get tons of fun because Dusty and Sapphire are fat. That's what he's saying.
Okay, fuck you. Shut up. So.
And then Jesse, of course, like, well, Elizabeth must be dreaming about getting back with Randy Savage. Why else would she be out here?
Well, of course. Yeah. So, this match.
This match is shenanigansy bullshit immediately.
Okay. Hear me out. So, it's early observation. So first of all, Jesse Ventura on commentary is out here being based and advocating for intergender wrestling. Please ignore all other context of the manner in which he's advocating for intergender wrestling, aka Macho King stepping in so he can beat up on Sapphire and Elizabeth simultaneously. Please ignore the context.
It's the 1990 version of Twitter videos being like, "Oh, women are equal, huh?" And watch this, and just a dude beating up women in a gym.
Yes,
see a 1990 equivalent of that.
Yeah, look, we're I'm following the letter of the base, not the spirit, okay? So Sapphire gets in the ring and she's actually like, oh, okay, like she's very clearly quite green, mind
you. She has learned like 3 moves, and we are going to work around that.
For an older woman who has never done this before, I'll say it. She's putting in the schmoves, actually. And also,
Sherry's hella good at her job here.
Yeah. Sherry will sell as
someone who is actually a women's wrestler. Sherry.
Yeah. So Sherry can carry Sapphire, and then also, for as much as I was bitching about it in the front half, the Macho Man and Dream versus Dream action we're getting is actually like pretty solid and not like only 5 seconds long and full of nothing. Like they're actually like doing some good work on each other. Based Gorilla Monsoon is also starting to advocate for intergender wrestling. Please ignore all other context of how he wants Dusty Rhodes to just murder Sherry in her sleep. But like,
bro, can we have literally anyone on this show advocate for intergender wrestling and it not be because they want to watch a man beat up a woman?
No, fuck you. But also, Austin, you said it's shenanigans abound, and yes, it is. But you know what the result of that shenanigans is? Kind of actually intergender wrestling based.
I did make a note. Dusty got 2 women on his side, and nobody is stopping Sherry from interfering.
I know. We're actually like getting some action between like at least Sherry and Dusty a little bit with like Sapphire and Elizabeth against Randy, kind of a little bit, sort of like, and it was fun. Elizabeth quickly yeets Elizabeth manages to.
So there was a moment where Sapphire tried to step to Rant to save save Dusty from getting hit with another axe handle drop. And so Randy tossed her out of the way, and so Elizabeth kind of had cared for Sapphire for like a decent
but then Elizabeth, like, Sherry like goes to the outside to like escape some shit, and then Elizabeth like fucking like gets she like throws Sherry into the ring, and Sapphire is the one who's allowed to like get the dub, which is really...
so like kind of the finish of the match here is it like Sherry is fallen onto the bottom rope. Elizabeth decks her, and then she trips over Sapphire, who's kind of like crouching in front of her, and so she trips over Sapphire, and then Sapphire rolls up Sherry for the win.
Sapphire gets the dub, which is really nice. Austin, I can't believe I'm saying this. I kind of loved this match. I
am shocked. All right?
I am too. You're telling me I thought this was gonna be doo-doo and piss me off, but I kind of loved it. It like we actually got a little bit of like shenanigans action, and also, uh, like, it was fun. It was charming. We got some great Elizabeth comeuppance against her shitty fucking ex-husband, not actually ex-husband in 1990 yet, but still, we're getting there. Like, it was great. I liked it. I was not expecting that. Holy hell. So that ruled.
Well, dang. All right. I mean, I'm not going to dissuade you then. All right.
Did you enjoy it?
Not really. I like I like the big moments were fun, but the match as a whole, I generally thought it was pretty boring. But I'm not going to dissuade you on that.
That's fair. I get it. I think it just it hit in a way I wasn't expecting it to hit, so I kind of just grabbed on and held on for the ride, and I enjoyed the ride. So fuck.
Sure. Anyway, Dusty grabs Randy's scepter, and then Elizabeth jumps in the ring to celebrate. And Randy keeps jumping on the apron and be like, "Give me back the scepter!" And he eventually leaves. And then it's like they're just dancing in the ring to Common Man Boogie. Elizabeth with that step clap.
I know Elizabeth is joining in on the fun. It's really cute. Yeah, so that was fun. So we cut over to
we get the announcement for WrestleMania. Next is the announcement for WrestleMania 7.
Why did I have a note about Brain having a psychotic break? What?
Because that's after. Give it a minute. Oh, okay. But first, we get the announcement of WrestleMania 7 in the Coliseum and the 100,000 fans. That's definitely what's going to happen.
That's 100% what's going to happen. WrestleMania 7, as we know, is great. Shut up.
They will not fake a bomb threat to move to a 10,000 seat arena. That's not what's going to happen at all.
Wait, fuck, did I know about this?
This is the Slaughter Hogan thing.
Yeah, I know it's the Slaughter Hogan thing. I can't remember if I knew about that.
I've talked about it enough. I feel like I do. You probably do. But to remind everyone else, is that they're gonna headline this WrestleMania 7, 100,000 fans in the LA Coliseum WrestleMania, with Hulk Hogan fighting to get the belt back from Iraqi sympathizer Sergeant Slaughter that is trying to get Leech off of the desert of the Gulf War, soon to be happening. Except that fails. Everyone hates it. They barely sell any tickets. And so WWE, to try to save face about it, pretends that this angle has so much heat that we cannot legit guarantee the safety of the fans from a bomb threat in the Coliseum. And so we are going to move next door to the LA Sport Arena that only holds 10,000 people.
Yeah, that's a great fucking way of making your patrons that are in attendance feel like they should be there. Great job, guys.
Yeah, anyway, then we cut backstage to Mean Gene. We're about to do we're in intermission, apparently. So we're just going to do a bunch of interviews back to back. Mean Gene talking to Bobby Heenan, saying if family members are falling like the Berlin Wall.
Sure.
And then Bobby Heenan is like, what kind of nerve do you have slapping Andre like that? And then, yes, Bobby Heenan has a psychotic breakdown.
I can't remember what it looked like. I just have like.
I did have one of the comments, because it's one of those like more famous Bobby Heenan lines, and I didn't remember that's where this comes from. Is because he's yelling about Andre, and he's like, I'm the head of the family. You listen to me, you get to the top. You don't listen to me, you're never heard from again.
The head of the family, Gaga.
Acknowledge Bobby Heenan.
Acknowledge the brain.
So Bobby Heenan puts the entire loss on Andre the Giant because he apparently refused to get in the ring, refused to help Haku. And and he is now going to get a new family, one that follows orders.
Yeah,
he is having a total psychotic break.
Yeah, I guess Haku's totally fired too, I guess.
And then, holy shit, this was nuts.
Okay, so Rona Barrett, who I learned is like the tiniest woman ever, as she like stands at half the height of like Mean Gene and
Gorilla and Jesse,
sorry,
who are
Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura. Um, uh, I apologize for this note, but after imagining Rona Barrett and Miss Elizabeth riding off to their sapphic fantasy of sunset,
right.
I put down that after making out with Elizabeth, she clearly now wants to get spit roasted by Jesse and Mean Gene. The way this poor tiny woman is in the middle of the two. Look, we're here for Rona Barrett, horny queen, and I feel justified in saying that because for some reason this interview is talking about Rona Barrett taking up Jesse Ventura's porn, not his like personal porn collection, but porn that he stars in.
Right, because Rona Barrett says first it's tough getting tidbits on your people. They have all very clean images. Lol. But she said she did find a little piece of film of certain somebody, and Jesse's like, "Are you talking about me? Did you see Predator, the Running Man?" And then
that shit.
Yeah, then Rona Barrett's like, "Oh no, it was something more in the adult film, in the adult library genre," and holy shit, and Gorilla Monsoon is like, "Do you have the footage? Do we have the footage?"
Gorilla Monsoon is also deeply.
Gorilla Monsoon really wants to see Jesse Ventura do maybe gay porn because she mentions a dude. She mentions a dude in relation to Jesse, and Jay's like, "What are you talking about? Me and Stallone?"
What? I feel like you just gave something away there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was just referencing that he did a movie with Stallone. Then Rona Barrett says that like the guys in production have the footage, and so like
why?
Family-friendly WWF show has Rona Barrett subtly implying that Jesse Ventura did porn, that the production guys have the porn, and both her and Gorilla Monsoon want to play it right now.
They really, really want to watch for research purposes. Oh, come on now.
And Jesse is like, hey, whoa, cut to the back.
Fuck me, dude. Absolutely insane. Okay. One quick thing I pointed out is like I love how like I resemble that remark is like such a catchphrase for Gorilla Monsoon. It's so like goofy, but I've heard him say multiple times like, "Oh yeah, you resemble that remark, huh?" It's so it's such dad humor, and in the middle of them talking about Jesse Ventura's potential like porno, it's just so wild to hear him pull out like that sort of catchphrase shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so Macho King and Sherry are now backstage with Sean Mooney.
Queen
Macho
Sherry
King
is just incoherently screeching, and Randy Savage is coping and seething through an interview.
Sean Mooney remarks to Randy and Sherry, "Yeah, you got a lot more than you expected in that match." Yeah, so did I, Sean. Fuck.
Suffering builds character. Suffering builds character. And then he's like, well, and then he tries to be like, "Well, you didn't have my full attention before, Dusty Rhodes, but now you do. And the crown jewel doesn't exist. It doesn't exist."
Two things on that. First of all, what? Second of all, things you can't say about WWE in 2023. So Macho King is just Macho King has gone bye-bye, Egon. He's just saying like random crown jewel doesn't exist, meaning Elizabeth. I guess Elizabeth is just a ghost, I suppose.
In his mind, he refuses to believe that she's real.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
You can psychoanalyze that however you want.
I don't wanna.
Oh, you say so. Okay. Mean Gene interviews Demolition, who says nothing of worth of note. Like, I don't care.
Basically, yeah. The main thing I got of it was like Axe and Smash are celebrating their three-peat, and Mean Gene is like, okay, what about that Heart Foundation though? And they're like, shut up.
Whatever.
Jesse, back on commentary, Jesse says Gorilla is fat. Gorilla says he watched Jesse's sex tape.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I saw the little clip. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Oh my god.
Okay, and then they go, let's go back to ringside, and then they cut backstage to Mean Gene and Hogan. I don't know if they cut something or what, but I was like, decidedly, this is not ringside. Now, I decided I was not going to, transcribe the Hogan Warrior promos on this.
Really?
I don't have them. I have notes on what they talked about, but I don't have.
I was fully expecting one last go round. God damn.
No, I feel like I got to retire at the plane crash because I think that was the peak here
anyway. Damn, you know what? That is a good note to go out on. You're right.
Anyway, well, you know something, Mean Gene. So and then so I guess Hogan didn't crash that plane. Unfortunate for him, because that was supposed to be how he wins. So
yeah, that's how he
sad to hear that.
To Valhalla or fucking whatever.
Yeah, so Hogan is just ranting about the darkness, and he's like, "This is where the power lies," and he points at his open palm. I have no idea what that's about. And then
what here is
I don't understand what he's doing. And then he's like, "When I get you down on your knees, Ultimate Warrior."
Oh my.
And then he's like, he talks about he's gonna proselytize to the Warrior. He's gonna convert the Warrior to Hulkamania. Save him he's gonna make sure he gets to Hulk heaven, which
so he can wrestle, so they can wrestle in heaven where that match truly belongs.
So again, Hogan is not beating the Judge Claude Frollo accusations. This feud where he both wants to get Warrior down on his knees, but also wants him to convert to God.
Yeah. I also took note that Hogan is looking especially dark tonight. I guess that's what happens when you make a pilgrimage to Venice fucking Beach. Not only does Hogan want to convert the Warrior, he wants to save all the little warriors from their cult leader's darkness.
So he's gone full he's gone full Frollo in Act 3.
Yeah.
He's gonna burn WrestleMania to the ground.
He wants Hulk Hogan wants the Ultimate Warrior to be a good loser. Ha 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 ha. That one made me laugh out loud hearing Terry Bollea ask anybody to be a good loser.
Yeah, and then Warrior, I did get more of what Warrior said because his stuff was more insane.
Okay,
and weird.
No. Before we get away from Hulk, his sign off with Mean Gene is Mean Gene, kind of does a little like, all right, now Sean Mooney, over to you in the locker room, and Hogan's like flexing, and Hogan just goes and like throws his arms up. It's still in the flexing pose, grunts, and then like walks. What the fuck was that?
Yeah. So Sean Mooney is backstage with Warrior, and then Warrior goes, "You are nothing but a normal. You don't deserve to breathe the same air as Hulk Hogan and I do."
Sean Mooney should stop breathing. Got it.
I didn't realize Ultimate Warrior was a pure blood supremacist.
Yeah,
checks out with his future career as it is.
Because being
normals don't make the world work.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh baby.
So anyway, Warrior is like, physically no one can live forever, because that was a big Hogan bit, was he was like talking about living forever in Hulk heaven. But the beliefs and ideals we have fought for can live through me. Hulk
also,
Hogan.
Count how many Ultimate Warrior face paint shapes you can see on this man, because he's not just on his face tonight, it's all the fuck over. He's got one on his chest, he's got like 10 on his trunks, there's one in his ass that has a pair of eyes on it. It makes me very uncomfortable. This man is all in on his fucking cult iconography tonight.
Ultimate Warrior says, the darkness he speaks of is no fear. It is about accepting all challenges at the cost of losing everything, Hulk Hogan. You have lived for the last 5 WrestleManias for this belief. But now, the Hulk Warrior, like Jesus Christ in the Hulkamania cult, has come not to replace the Hulkamania, but to fulfill it. He has come not to destroy the Hulkamaniacs.
We have come to the final.
The Hulkamaniacs together as one with the Warriors.
We have come to the final contrast of the cult lore, which is that Hulk Hogan strives for destruction of the Warrior cult. Warrior seeks assimilation with Hulkamania.
This is who is the Pontius Pilate of this story, and why is it Brutus Beefcake?
I wash my hands. I wash my clippers.
I wash my shears of this.
Oh fuck. Well, god damn. And then that I think that makes Earthquake Satan as Hulk Hogan dies and descends into hell later.
And 3 days later I got back up
again, dude.
And I got a better joke for that later. And then the Warrior says he came to do no harm, only to take what we both believe in and take it farther than it has ever been.
Oh my god. Yeah, so we're just at full insanity. Warrior says that he wants to the colors of the Hulkamaniacs are coming through the pores of his skin. What the fuck?
Is that how he gets the tan?
No, stop it. I don't want to imagine him harvesting Hulkamaniacs for their tan.
The power of the Warrior may lead to...
Comes from sheer melanin.
That was, hold on.
Oh my god. He also claims he has come to do no one no harm, so he's here to
The power of the Warrior is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
That's just any type of like culty, religious, dogmatic like ramblings you can imagine. Insert them here. They all
ironic. Hulk Hogan was able to save others, but not himself.
Fuck you. God damn it.
Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Hogan the Wise?
It's not a story a Hulkamaniac would tell you.
Fuck, no, we're not converting this into Star Wars. No, get out, get out of here before it's too late.
That's true. God. I had more fun with straightforward religious cults.
Yeah, right. Don't bring George Lucas into this. It'll be your biggest mistake of your life. There's gonna be CGI all over the ring now. Oh god.
The next
Melon.
match then. Hold on. We have the Orient Express versus the Rockers.
I did not watch
this. Yes. So it's a good match. It's one of the better ones on the show. However, the finish is stupid, where Marty Jannetty threatens Fuji with his own cane. Sato runs over and throws salt in Marty Jannetty's eyes. Marty Jannetty is so blinded he falls over the ring, the guardrail, and the match is a count-out win for the Orient Express because Marty Jannetty is blind and an idiot.
Cool, great. Yeah, that tends to be how that works.
But now, Steve Allen. I didn't write down many of the quips because I didn't want to. I wrote down the first one. I wrote down the first one.
Yeah, I also, please.
They have been called one of the hottest new bands in the music business today. Unfortunately, they are not here. So let me introduce instead the band waiting for our arrival.
Okay. Pardon me. Sorry, go ahead.
The Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine, now known for reasons that remain obscure, are not only rhythm, but believe it or not, Blues.
Yes! I feel so vindicated. Why are they named like that? Oh, thank you, Steve Allen. So Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine come out and they're talking about debuting their song. Steve Allen,
They're so stupid.
For reasons that I can't fully fathom, says that he hasn't been this excited since he found out Pee Wee Herman was straight. Which, what
does that mean?
That mean? I thought, because here's the thing. I thought for a second Steve Allen might have been like actual like queer icon of 19. No, he was straight. So what the fuck does that mean? Because he clearly meant it sarcastically. So the insinuation is that he wants Pee Wee Herman to be gay. So what?
I don't know.
Either way, Steve Allen is a delight, and I wish we could get him on regular WWF programming and not just random guest spot.
It's great. They talk because it's funny because they're like because Honky Tonk Man is like we're gonna be bigger than Elvis, bigger than a Beatles reunion, and Steve Allen's like, well, you'll be at least as big as Tiny Tim doing a gig at a rest stop at a Jersey Turnpike.
Beautiful.
And they are like, we're going to go in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Steve Allen goes, well, I'll call ahead and warn them that you're coming.
Outstanding. Yeah. So that was great from Steve Allen. We and yet another like set of like fucking rewind vignettes. Or we see like the flashback feud of Jake the Snake and Ted DiBiase.
There's a match in between.
Sorry.
Dino Bravo versus Jim Duggan.
Oh yeah, I saw the finish and it was about what the fuck you would expect.
Yeah. Anyway, at this point, I noted that Jesse Ventura will not shut the fuck up about Gorilla Monsoon eating hot dogs.
Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Where did this come from?
I don't know. It's fucking weird, but
he drones on about it for the rest of the show.
He is like, you've eaten 7 hot dogs, Gorilla. You've stuffed your face with them. And Gorilla's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I have not had any hot dogs. A real highlight, though, of commentary during Dino Bravo versus Jim Duggan is Jesse Ventura's like, I've come to the realization that I hate Jim Duggan because he's so ugly. I'm around Hollywood. I'm around Hollywood stars all day, and then I gotta look at Jim Duggan.
Based.
And then because Earthquake is out there too, with Jimmy Hart. Gorilla's like, oh, so you think you like looking at Earthquake, huh? You think that's attractive? And he's like, well, I never said that.
Well, maybe.
And then anyway, after a stupid failed distraction by Earthquake, Jim Duggan hits Dino Bravo with his 2x4 and wins like a true babyface American hero. And then after the match, Earthquake runs in and murderizes Jim Duggan. He sits on him 3 times.
3 whole times. God damn. Yeah, so that is about what you'd expect.
The match is trash because it's Jim Duggan.
Yeah, because it's Jim fucking Duggan and his stupid fucking 2x4. Get out of here. So now, it's time for the feud to end all feuds. The feud that, per this like flashback video package, has been going on for over half a year, which I did not fully realize. I don't think that this has been like over 6 months building up, which is insane.
Well, it was really funny to me that like the first incident is like Ted DiBiase beating Jake Roberts' ass.
Yeah.
And then we cut 6 months later where for reasons he just calls out Jake Roberts to come steal his belt.
I guess for some reason, and I guess people were just expected to remember about that. Sure, I guess, whatever.
I mean, maybe they were feuding off and on before that. Obviously, they cut to the important bits. I don't know. As someone who doesn't know better, they make it look like 6 months later, Ted DiBiase just decided to start shit again.
Just got a real bug up his ass about Jake the Snake again. They were probably working house shows with each other, but like, goddamn, dude. The way it was cut is really funny.
Yes.
Money. This is another one I am almost ashamed to admit I added to my wrestling song. It's catchy, it's fun, and then
Ted DiBiase talks to a beat.
I know can we call it rapping? No, but he sure talks to a beat.
He is talking. And then we cut backstage to Jake Roberts at this point. And Jake Roberts like, this is the biggest match of Ted DiBiase's career, which is funny because DiBiase main evented WrestleMania 4, competing for the WWF Championship, the real one. I would think that would be the biggest match of his career, but whatever. Yes. Because everything that he stands for is on the line. And like, Jake Roberts actually cuts a based as hell promo here.
Dude, okay.
Where he's like,
describe it.
You go ahead.
No, please. I want to do mine as a reaction to what you're.
Sure. So, because he's like, all you need to do to get your belt back is go through me and Damien. But they don't forget. We don't forget. We don't forget how when you saw people who needed money and people who could have used that money to buy basic needs. And what did you do, Ted DiBiase? You made fun of them. You humbled them. You humiliated them. And Jake says that he is going to make DiBiase beg. This time, he will be the one who is humbled. He will be the one who is humiliated. He will grovel. He will be the one who grovels for the money. But this time, the money he will grovel for is his own. A victim of his own greed, wallowing in the muck of avarice.
Oh my fucking god! It goes so hard. Okay, I've had a realization. I talked about this last time we were here. Jake the Snake Roberts is just unironically a fave of mine from this era. Like,
this dude was on a whole. This dude was like ahead of his time on a next level in an era where everyone is just shouting, rambling nonsense.
Yeah, like his basis. First of all, top insane tier promo skill. Mm-hmm. And also, like, actually quite talented in ring. This man can work a fucking bout. I love him, and I did not realize my love of Jake the Snake Roberts has crept up on me. But yeah, utter wordsmith, AEW manager king, in the modern day. It makes me happy every time he pops up there. And currently taking on Ted DiBiase, which is always the morally correct thing to do.
Absolutely.
Okay, it is really funny also to like, they talk a lot of shit about the $1 Million Belt as a non-sanctioned belt. Like, one of my psychic moments, I kind of made a note about like it is funny to talk about like non-sanctioned belts, because if you think about them, they don't often end up operating all that differently in a company from normal belts. They're just there.
They just get defended less often.
Yeah, and they're there for like extra flavor and aren't really that like, I don't know, they aren't promoted in the same way, but like they're still effectively just another belt. But I did make a note of like, what is the material difference? Has there ever been a story to like actually highlight that? And well, we'll get there, kind of.
Yeah, sort of.
And also, another theme song that I've come to dig is Jake Roberts. Jake Roberts, like some layers to it, minor chord, good shit. That also went on my playlist.
Mm-hmm. So it's Ted DiBiase versus Jake Roberts. When we get to the ring, Jesse is like, wow, look how big that bag, Damien's bag is, Gorilla. He's eating more hot dogs than you, Gorilla. Shut it go.
Up.
God damn.
Shut the fuck up.
And then Jesse, as the match is starting, Jesse is like, he's still arguing about the hot dogs. And he's like, now don't lie, Gorilla. A lightning bolt could penetrate the Sky Dome if you lie too much.
Yeah, and also in terms of things that are said, Jesse Ventura points out how there is no love lost between Ted DiBiase and Jake the Snake Roberts. Take a shot.
Now this match is pretty good. One of the better ones.
Yeah, bro. I early on was like, okay, this is kind of like shaping up to be a legit bout. Like, so DiBiase spends a lot of the like early match being a chicken shit. Which like, he's running to the outside of the ring, but it didn't feel all that tedious to me. It kind of added some anticipation because when he was in the ring, Jake would start to move it at like a pace. And so Ted DiBiase like escaping to the outside added this kind of anticipation of like delaying the inevitable. So that was kind of cool. Jake early on tries to like get submissions in on
which is a good time to bring up the subscapularis conversation.
Oh, so, yeah? Gorillas...
So Jake has Ted DiBiase down on the ground, a hammer lock, which is kind of like your lock, which is basically like you're like getting the guy's arm wrapped up behind his back, right? And so at the same time, he's got DiBiase down on the ground, and he's also kind of kneeing him in the back as he's going along. And so Gorilla makes some comment about how, this is really hurting the subscapularis region.
Okay.
And he is trying to keep going, and Jesse's like, the back, the arm. Are you trying to say the arm, Gorilla? And Gorilla goes, no, subscapularis is in the back. And just like, it's a hammer lock, Gorilla.
My God.
What? And Jesse and Gorilla tries to like stumble over explaining what he means, and he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop talking. I'm just gonna drop it, and I'm just gonna stop. And Jesse's like, well, I'm glad. I hope you do. I'm glad you are.
Fuck you, Jesse.
Now, I adore that Gorilla Monsoon would just break out the highly technical but correct anatomical terms for body.
Bro, I know. It's actually kind of great. Like it feels very like legit commentator of him to do. I think that's actually like it's kind of a goofy gimmick and we clown on it, but it does like add a legitimacy to his voice and a uniqueness to his voice. I've not heard any other commentator talk like that in wrestling ever. It gives him a very distinct feel, a very distinct identity as a commentator, and I really appreciate it. So Jesse Ventura can shut the fuck up.
Absolutely. So Jake Roberts is basically beaten down on DiBiase, but he goes for a high knee. Ted DiBiase flips him into the turnbuckle. Jesus.
Ooh, that was a really cool spot.
Yeah, so DiBiase's back in control here, and Jesse tells Gorilla that he should hang out with Ted DiBiase more because he always picks up the tab.
Yeah, and also the tab for those hot dogs. Jesse Jesse also says
the fans start doing the wave.
Oh my God. Well, okay. Well, first, Jesse says that Virgil would be prettier if he smiled more. But yes,
okay.
The Sky Dome starts doing the wave, and this is the greatest thing to ever happen to Jesse Ventura.
Now, he is freaking out the whole time, and he tries to get him and Gorilla into it, and after they presumably passes them, he goes, you got so many hot dogs in you, you couldn't stand up, Gorilla. And
my God.
Gorilla retorts back, it sure doesn't take much to entertain you, does it, Jesse?
Jingling keys. Also, the wave is like the worst wave ever. Like
it's
all
a
these
shitty wave. I can't even tell if it happened.
Classic wrestling fans. They're all drunk off their asses by this point.
Yeah. So, and meanwhile, DiBiase has Jake in a headlock or whatever. I don't know. Wrestling's happening, but the wave.
The wave, Gorilla. Don't you want to do the wave? His life has been changed. Anyway, so after Jesse kind of gets his train of thought back from that, great spot. We see a $1 Million Man hits a pile driver on Jake the Snake, but he takes a moment to gloat. He doesn't go for the pin.
He stands over Jake and then like sits on his face to do like a pin that way, which leads him to get rolled up by Jake.
Yeah, 1, 2 breaks the count.
Great.
$1 Million Man is able to kind of get back in control. He locks in his submission
The
move.
$1 million Dream, which is a
Yes.
a crossface chicken wing.
Crossface chicken wing. And Jake, I have to say, Jake like fights it in an actually like dynamic way, like in a way you normally don't see submission spots fought against, which was cool. Jake gets his legs on the ropes twice before DiBiase thinks, maybe I should pull him to the center if I'm gonna do this shit. He proceeds to pull Jake the Snake to the center, except then he doesn't go for the submission again. He tries to go for a pin. Okay.
And that didn't work either, of course.
Yeah. Great epic fucking sequence where he goes to the $1 Million Man, goes to the top rope, or goes to the top of the turnbuckle. He's gonna jump at Jake, who's on the ground, but Jake catches him out of midair with a sucker punch, clothesline, atomic drop, another clothesline, Irish whip, backdrop, short clothesline, and then Jake the Snake takes a moment to gloat because we've learned nothing.
He's trying to do the DDT, but he gets pulled into the ropes with DiBiase, and then Virgil pulls Jake out of the ring. And then Jake's like, well, fuck this guy. He punches Virgil. DiBiase gets the $1 Million Dream on him in the ring. And outside of the ring, he tosses Jake into the ring post. And then Virgil tosses $1 Million Man back in the ring, and DiBiase wins by countout. Boo!
First of all, boo, fuck you. And hey, this is where that whole non-sanctioned title comes in.
Oh, they try to allege that you can win the $1 Million belt by countout.
Yeah, boo. Which, okay, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall Jake actually ever legitimately winning.
He's not. No, he did not. He just stole the belt. He didn't beat DiBiase for it in any capacity.
Sure,
he just stole the belt. So after the match, Jake tries to grab at Virgil. Virgil runs off. He takes the belt with him. And then Jake hits the DDT on the $1 Million Man and Waka Waka. We're all having a good time. Jake takes Ted's money and starts giving it out to the crowd. He gives a $100 bill to Mary Tyler Moore.
Passing out shoot hundreds to like fans and also Mary Tyler Moore.
Also, Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah, that's her payment for being here tonight. Was that hundo?
Nice. So Jake pulls Damien out of the bag because he's gonna go at Virgil and DiBiase. Virgil runs back. Jake runs off Virgil with the snake on his shoulder, and that is the end of that for the moment. But DiBiase didn't really leave ringside, as it turns out.
No.
More on that. We go backstage with Akeem and Slick with Sean Mooney. Money, my man. This is what it's all about. Slick is just so happy that the $1 Million Man got his belt back, and he has given him and his main man, Akeem, thousands of reasons to act as judge, jury, and executioner. And Akeem pipes in where there's few things that won't last long. Dogs that chase cars and officers that won't take the money.
That was kind of funny, but also fuck you, Akeem.
And then Mean Gene is with the big boss man. He just immediately is like, as far as I'm concerned, Ted DiBiase is scum. I was like, all right, base, cool. Correct. The big boss man calls Slick some pimp top manager. All right, just saying it out loud then, huh? And then he says he calls Akeem a tribal reject from Africa that's too fat to fit in the pot.
I don't know what
that means, and I'm scared to know what that means.
I don't even want to.
If I don't think about it, I don't have to figure it out.
I didn't even touch
he ends this promo where he's like, I'm proud to wear this badge. As he's an ex-correctional officer, by the way. But more importantly, I'm proud to be an American.
Gah! And then he won.
Or at least I know I'm free.
Yeah. But yeah. Out to the ringside. Akeem and Slick come out.
Which I wrote, man, Slick really did sing an entire song called Jive Soul, bro.
That's him? Oh, fuck
Yeah,
me.
he's clearly singing that song.
Son of a bitch. Man, people, speaking of, people, like, from, with Andre from earlier, people really are, like, going ape shit over Big Boss Man now that he's a face. Like, the crowd goes nuclear.
This crowd really wanted to start cheering for the cop.
Yeah, right. They're like, oh, this is getting a little too metatextual for us. We don't want to think about it too hard.
They say A-cab, more like in-cab. No cops are bastards.
Beautiful. But yes, the Big Boss Man will make you walk the line. You better watch out, boy.
Read the signs. Respect the law and order.
This was the last theme to go on my my playlist from the show tonight because
Then as Boss Man comes down to the ring, Ted DiBiase crawls his ass up and sneaks behind him and starts beating up the Boss Man before the bell.
Yeah, fucking Boss Man is like is ready to go, and then Ted DiBiase because I guess bribing Akeem and Slick to do a job they were probably already going to do anyway. Why are you spending money on this? Was not enough. He needs to also just beat up on the Big Boss Man himself for checks notes not taking his money. $1 million man. I feel like he's a millionaire that could be a billionaire.
That's true. Yeah. And then DiBiase tosses Big Boss Man in the ring so the match can start. My next note is stop with the goddamn hot dogs. I didn't even write down what it was. I just remembered Jesse said some more shit about the fucking hot dogs.
Shut up.
At some point he said something like, you've been stuffing a hot dog in between every interview. So that might be when this came up.
Sure, it's fine, whatever.
Basically, Akeem beats down Boss Man for a bit. But then Boss Man fights back and he hits this weird kind of he throws Akeem into the ropes and then he sort of kind of picks him up for a slam.
Oh yeah.
And then he wins.
Honestly, I think I classified it as a belly to back suplex.
He just kind of like picks him up and drops him. It's like a spine buster if it had no power behind it at all.
I honestly thought it looked all right, but basically Akeem gets squashed after he gets about just under a minute of beating up on Big Boss Man. And Big Boss Man's like, actually, fuck you, and then just murders Akeem, which
then he grabs Slick and punches him in the face.
Based.
Right. Then, oh my God, we are finally here.
It is. Well,
it's time for the rhythm and blues song. Okay. So
I didn't have to watch this. That doesn't mean I'm spared.
You wish you had. All right. So we start with Sean Mooney among the people. And he is just interviewing people about this segment. And he goes up to this little kid who's like, Are you ready to listen to the rhythm and blues song? And the kid says, no, dude, they can't sing or dance or anything.
Outstanding.
Absolutely burned.
Ended their entire careers.
So then Sean, he goes down to meet a little girl down near the front row, and he asks her, and she's like, yeah, I'm excited. And she is a mark who likes rhythm and blues. So she's excited to hear this. And then, oh God, Sean Mooney goes to go talk to Mary Tyler Moore.
Okay.
And so he asks her how she's feeling about the show. And she's like, well, gosh, it's the best of athletics and theater. I've never seen anything like it. I'm having a great time.
And theater? And then, what?
Yeah, and I think she was hoping he would leave, but of course that didn't happen.
Of course not.
So Sean Mooney is like, well, he's very excited about the rhythm and blues segment. I'm sure you have all of the Honky Tonk Man's albums, to which she says yes, and I think she's hoping he just fucks off if he says she nods and agrees with whatever the fuck he's talking about. Just the way she looks, she's about done here. But of course, Sean isn't.
Payment of $100.
She clearly doesn't. she clearly doesn't actually know wrestling. She's clearly new to this. And she would like to not be interviewed about it anymore, I think. So, because Sean Mooney then is like, well, would you say that the Honky Tonk Man reminds you of Elvis? To which she's like, yes. Mm-hmm. And then Mooney is like, well, what about Greg the Hammer Valentine? To which she responds with Elvis. Because she doesn't know this fucking gimmick, so she's just assuming they're both Elvis. and then Sean Mooney turns away from her and looks towards the camera, and he goes, "Well, I think they're more of a cross between Roy Orbison and Johnny Cash." So as if he needed to point out that Mary Tyler Moore had the wrong answer.
and Sean Mooney, not one to take a hint, not one to turn down a chance for more yes and work.
Yeah, no. And then he does wrap up the interview here. He's like, "Thank you for your time," but then he has to be weird, and he's like, "You may be married. She may be Mary Tyler Moore, but she'll always be Mary Richards to me." Cool, Sean. I don't give a fuck.
Again, WrestleMania 6 is purely for the girlies, okay?
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Anyway.
Mary, blink twice if you're in danger.
No, so Sean Mooney had the worst interview of all time with Mary Tyler Moore. And the segment just keeps getting better. As at this point is when Honky Tonk Man actually comes out. And holy shit. So Honky Tonk Man comes out in a pink Corvette that drives down the ramp. And he's got two girls in the front who are the Honkettes. And he's got him.
What?
The Honkettes, that's right. And then Honky and Greg
on a list just for hearing that name.
And then Honky and Greg Valentine are in the back. They got the guitars. Greg Valentine is dressing like a stereotypical Elvis, like he's like white suit Elvis dress.
Yeah, I saw it earlier.
Yeah, and Jimmy Hart is in the middle, and he's holding up the gold record for a song that allegedly has not been released yet, and it's went gold.
That's
already.
How that works. They just commissioned it gold from the start. They're like, actually, we found out a life hack.
So they just drive down to the ring in a fucking pink Corvette. And then they get in the ring. They set everything up. There are speakers in the ring because they are actually going to play a song. Like, it's a real song.
Me about this, you seemed surprised, and I don't know why. Even I figured that this was going to be a real fucking song.
The Honkettes are the backup singers, along with Jimmy Hart, of course. Jimmy Hart is also singing backup.
Jimmy Hart said, I put my heart and soul into this, Daddy. You're gonna put me on that goddamn stage.
And then Honky Tonk Man legitimately sings lead. Like, he actually does sing. Jimmy Hart occasionally
too.
He sounds all right. He does try to get the mic in front of Greg Valentine's face a couple times, but Greg is not a singer, and he would prefer if you didn't make me try. But I will say
Mary Tyler Moore feels a sudden strange kinship with Greg Valentine in terms of having unwanted microphones shoved in your face.
So they play an entire 2 to 3 minute song. Like, they play the whole thing. And I'll give Jimmy this. I don't know, and I'm not familiar enough with Burnin' Honka Honka Burnin' Love to know if musically it sounds Honka Honka Honky Love sounds exactly the same musically, but the lyrics are not parodies of Honka Honka Burnin' Love. The lyrics do not fit the structure of that song at all. It is original lyrics by Jimmy fucking Hart.
Jimmy Hart, you've done it again.
You've done it again, truly.
Hart, you magnificent bastard, I read your book.
Don't worry. I did look up the lyrics to
you.
Honky Honky Burnin' Love.
Whatever.
You. So the lyrics are, come on, baby, hold me tight. Tell old honky what you need tonight. We need, and then the backup is, we need a honka honka honky tonk. We need a honka honka honky tonk. I'm the one you've been dreaming of. You know, you gotta have some honky love. Put your arms around me, whisper in my ear. Tell old honky what he likes to hear. We need a honka honka honky tonk. We need a honky 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 tonk. Beautiful. I'm the one you've been dreaming of. You know, you gotta have some honky love. Shake, rattle, and roll. Play that rhythm and blues. Don't be cruel. No, baby. Come on, baby. Squeeze me tight. Tell old honky what he wants tonight. We need a honka honka honky tonk. I'm the one you've been dreaming of. You know, you gotta have some honky love.
Holy fucking fuck. Well then, so that just happened.
Again, want to remind you all that the backup singers were two pretty women and Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy, all singing in the same octave, mind you.
Of course.
Oh my
god!
I
actually do some research on this for a second because I was like expecting. So here's the thing: Sherry Martel is going to briefly be a part of the Honky Tonk Man act.
Okay.
And
man, she shopped around weird managees.
Okay. This happened before this. Okay. While Honky Tonk Man was the Intercontinental Champion.
Okay.
Sherry Martel was technically the women's champion in the WWF at the time. Martel appeared on several occasions as Peggy Sue, Honky Tonk Man's girlfriend.
Okay.
And she was just in a wig and costume. And they pretended
they did try to hide her.
They pretended it wasn't Sherry. There was like a new woman, Peggy Sue, Honky's girlfriend. Okay.
Interesting.
Anyway, so they sing the song. Greg Valentine plays some bitchin' air guitar. I'll have you know. And then after the song is two weird WWF fans are at ringside and Honky is like, get out of here. And then he looks at them and he's like, wait, that's the Bushwhackers. And the Bushwhackers take the merch off to reveal it is Gaga, the Bushwhackers. The Bushwhackers just get in the ring, run off the entire group of these people. The entire group, Honky and Valentine, Jimmy, and the Honkettes. And then the Bushwhackers grab the guitars because they accidentally left the guitars in the ring. The Bushwhackers pretend to play the guitar, much worse than Greg Valentine, I'll have you know. And then those fuckers destroyed the guitars.
Oh my god. The guitars are done for. Based.
What? What? This is the most terrible thing the Bushwhackers have ever done.
No, fuck you.
They have ruined the musical careers of the rhythm and blues, and they need to pay for their crimes. And then we wrap up this segment with Gorilla Monsoon piping in and saying, "If you hanged the honker for being a good singer, you'd hang an innocent man."
Ha! I appreciate that.
And then Jesse Ventura was like, "What did you think of Honky Love, Gorilla? You gonna buy the CD?" Gorilla's like, "Oh yeah, sure, the CD for sure."
Actually, I'm buying that gold-plated record. Thank you very much.
So then after that, we get the announcement of the attendance: 67,678. It's a new Sky Dome record. Woo! Then we get the 12th, or actually the 13th match on the show. Now I think about it. Rick Rude versus Jimmy Snuka. On principle, on this podcast we call that the murderer principle. In that if you are a known murderer, I will not really care to pay attention to or take notes of any of your matches if I can help it.
It's a very innovative in our field is the murderer principle.
It's also a rarely applied principle, but here,
there are a couple times where we need to.
Anyway, I will note that Steve Allen is on commentary for this match. So
I bet that was fucking magical.
Yeah. Anyway, Rick Rude hits the Rude Awakening for the win, and after the match, I noted that Rick Rude has spray painted his own face on his ass.
Fuck! I saw the end of this, and I did notice that. I just assumed that was like normal, standard Rick Rude fare.
Well, to be fair, sometimes he'll spray paint other people on his ass.
Oh. Okay, I guess he just felt like getting a little more vain with it this time. Either way, it feels on brand for Rick Rude to have a spray painted face of himself on his ass.
It does. Okay, now it's time for the main event.
It is time. Okay, recap of the feud up to this point, as we've been doing. Man, after the Royal Rumble, it literally just puts into perspective how literally none of this has been sane or normal. Like it's just two insane paranoid motherfuckers who just don't know how to interact with people in a healthy way, colliding with each other, and the results are about exactly what you'd expect for two weirdos like them. But yes, we've talked about it so in depth. It is time, and yet another thing that I will eat a little bit of crow on is, man, even I cannot help but get just a little bit hype hearing Real American hit for an occasion such as this. I find myself like head nodding to the beat.
I mean, David, when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you gotta take a stand. It don't help to hide.
I feel terrible. Also, something I noticed, I don't think I've ever I think this is the earliest I've seen a Jumbotron in stuff we've watched for this show. Like, I think this is the earliest example I've seen, because you can see like a screen off in the arena that is playing the camera feed, to the arena. I think this is the earliest in WWF's history I've seen that happen. In our for recording our show. So that was neat. But yes, Hogan makes his entrance. Warrior makes his entrance. It is time.
In the words of Jesse Ventura, they're just checking each other out here.
Oh, I bet you know all about that, Jesse.
Yeah. So this match is honestly the best match on the show, which shouldn't be possible.
Okay.
Really?
So I had a nice big think about this while I was watching. So they have done, fuck me, I can't believe I'm saying this about a match with the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. They have done a really smart job building up to this. For all the deep insanity, everything was really carefully planned for. The way they're doing planting and payoff with all these like kind of little spots of like simultaneous rope running and
the double clothesline,
the double clothesline shit and stuff like that. And like the way they'll do like the bit where they collide into each other and neither of them really like sell it. They've done a and like we start to see early on, like in the first few minutes of the match, they are like perfectly tit for tat. The way they have built to this is genius. Like really surprisingly like careful, smart, meticulous work on the part of the performers here, and they are executing the payoff really well. What we watched, what we're going to describe to you, it is not a technically impressive match by
I definitely
lot of
think
standards.
there are weird slow points.
I didn't even mind the weird slow points, but the thing is the atmosphere. They managed to legitimately create an utterly electric atmosphere with the way they built this up, and I hate that it got to me as much as it did. Fucking fuck me. On sheer, again, I can't believe I'm saying this for Hulk fucking Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. On sheer storytelling power alone, this was fucking stellar. Fuck me. Fuck me. God fucking damn it.
Yeah, you're usually gonna eat all that crow here.
Ah!
Now, this is a magical moment in both of their careers. A moment that nobody really saw coming.
Mm-mm.
No one thought either man had this match in them.
No.
This is still one of the better matches of both of their careers, to be honest. Though Hogan has a much longer list of stellar matches than Warrior does.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, just they did this perfectly. They tried to do it again in WCW and could not even come close to doing it again.
Yeah.
This was a special magical moment between Warrior and Hogan.
Yes. And you can tell like they're both fucking in the zone. Like even like before the match starts, the way they like face each other down and just talking sotto voce real quick. You know, I'm sure Hulk Hogan whispered to the Warrior, I guess this does work for me, brother.
We'll see. We'll get to the ending and we can rehash what works for Hogan or what does not work.
Yeah, well, yeah. But yeah, so they're really evenly matched early on.
That's a big story of the match, is that these guys are literal mirrors of each other.
Yeah.
They literally do each other's moves.
Which I think also kind of makes this, like, I think Hogan and Warrior are the perfect opponents for each other because like neither of them can rely on their usual bullshit with each other, so it kind of forces them to like actually like work outside the box a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
We start with some like test of strengthy bullshit. They start shoving each other, trying to force each other back. Warrior puts his hand up for the test of strength, and we do a test of strength spot. Where they're trying to shove at each other while holding hands. And then the Warrior is winning. Hogan falls down on his knees and gets his face so close
right up in
Warrior's dick.
Yeah.
Right in there. But Hogan fights back up and he reverses the position. And now the Warrior is down on his knees, all up in Hogan's shit.
Oh my god. Yeah, so
that one, it doesn't help because it doesn't help that like Warrior shakes his head a lot, and then Hogan has these weird, like his attempts to be like in pain is him like he like looks upward and like half moans. So like he kind of looks like Warrior's blowing him off.
Hey man, this is a very tender, vulnerable moment for both of these men. Okay, don't you even shame them. All right, let them live their truth.
That's fair. But they do get out. They fight. They end up fighting up out of that. Again, Hogan does a slam and Warrior no sells it, and then Warrior does the exact same slam and Hogan no sells it.
Yeah,
really cool shit here. But Warrior clotheslines Hogan out of the ring, and Hogan, oh no, his knee is hurt.
My
knee is gone.
Yeah.
My knee is gone.
Yeah, he starts like selling the hell out of his knee being injured, which
is for 5 minutes.
For 5 whole minutes. And then it just goes away.
Hogan. So basically, Hogan's just like over at rings, being like, my knee, and Warrior's like, get back in the ring, and he grabs Hogan, he tosses him back in the ring. They have back and forth thumb to the eyes.
Yeah,
and then
Ventura on commentary, for as much as he's been dicking around tonight, he actually contributes some cool stuff to the proceedings here throughout the match. He makes a great little quip about let the two goody goody two shoes throw the rule book out and get nasty, which I actually quite like as a narrative beat. Like, you know, a match like this comes along once in a generation, like Ultimate Babyface versus Ultimate Babyface Junior. And like, fucking, like, there's a wild desperation here for like both of these untouchable motherfuckers. So it would make sense that they'd like both have to kind of go a bit crazy with it here, because otherwise, like, how the fuck do you even like get the upper hand?
But then Hogan stands up, and the power of the Hulkamaniacs heals his knee.
Yeah, I guess.
He just gets up and he never sells the knee again.
He just the rest of the match he's fine.
He's done. He's fine. Again, the power of the Hulkamaniac. He prayed to the number one Hulkamaniac, and his knee was healed.
You could say that in the context of what I was just saying, like, that was like Hogan, the character, like fucking with people. Like, he's almost not sure what to do. He's like, if I fake the injury, maybe I can get out of it, brother. But also, like, I highly doubt that's what they were going for.
Gorilla tries to play it off as a temporarily dislocating the patella, which, like, I do have experience with that.
Hey, oh yeah, look at that.
I mean, it's a real thing, to be sure, but it's just funny.
Fuck you, Hulk Hogan.
So also at one point, so Hogan has Warrior in a front headlock, and Gorilla goes, "What a punishing hold this is!" And Jesse pipes in, "Yeah, just ask Richard Belzer." Yikes!
What? Who?
Okay, so Richard Belzer, talk show host. And this
shit! Oh my god!
So for the people who don't know, a day before, like a night or two before, it was like 2 nights before WrestleMania.
Like this
Hogan,
one?
like WrestleMania 1, like a couple days before WrestleMania 1. I want to remind you how precarious a position the WWF was in at this time. Hogan and Mr. T are going on a talk show. They're on the Richard Belzer show, and it's all going fine. And so Richard Belzer does the thing that a lot of talk show hosts do. Well, not quite the same. He doesn't do the exact, like, is this fake? What he does do is he asks Hogan to do some moves on him, which is kind of like the subtle way of doing that, because you're implying that, because in your mind you don't think they actually know any moves.
Yes.
So Belzer asks Hogan to do some moves on it. And Hogan agrees for some reason. I don't know why he did that. But Belzer, so he gets Belzer in a front headlock. Except he puts Belzer in a legitimate front headlock. And so Belzer passes out. And then Hogan drops Belzer on the floor. And Belzer cracks his skull on the floor.
Yeah. Which is fucked up.
It is. And Hogan has to kind of just like play it off as best he can.
Uh-huh.
But it's absolutely insane that happened, and WrestleMania just kept marching on, because this was a big fucking moment for the company. And this was not far away from the Dr. Schultz problem.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Situation. So, like, but this is just nuts to me.
Vince,
that happened.
Fucking dog.
But yeah, yikes that we're making jokes about Richard Belzer.
Yeah, well, it's Jesse. I'm not fucking surprised.
So, okay, I've also noted at this point that Ultimate Warrior has already sweat his makeup off.
Yeah, that's true. He like off his face and his fucking chest. Like, it's just dunzo immediately.
Yeah, I wanted to note also, by the way, here, while Hogan is working over Warrior a lot during this part of the match, Hogan very subtly working heel here. In that he is beating down on Warrior the whole match, like a heel would. And he's bitching to the ref about 2 counts, because he pins Warrior 2 count. And then he's like, hey, 1, 2, 3, buddy.
Oh, shit.
2 count. And he's doing all the wear down holds. He's doing the rest holds. He's putting in the headlocks for Warrior to fight out of.
Damn.
Hogan very subtly being the heel here. because this is the passing of the torch to Warrior being the real top guy, babyface.
That's really smart, and I didn't fucking catch that, because I was mostly just focused on the fact that like Hogan was doing new shit in general.
He did a back body drop, and I was body slam. I was like, "The fuck are you doing there?"
Yeah, New Japan Hulk Hogan has entered the chat actually.
Yeah, but no, that's what I noted. That like I noted that like the way they structured the match, it garnered sympathy more for Warrior than it did for Hogan.
100%. Which again,
Warrior got the comeback sequences. I was like, whoa.
That could maybe like lend credence to the whole Hulk was bullshitting the knee injury thing, but like whatever.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's intentional. By the way, I wouldn't say this was intentional because I don't think they ever thought too deeply on anything Warrior ever said, right? To incorporate into the matches. But I, the over analytical
transcriber,
and the one trying to overanalyze things, it did kind of feel like Hogan kind of working heel kind of feeds into this idea of Warrior being like, you gotta come down to the parts unknown. You gotta come to the darkness, Hulk Hogan. Like this is just a little bit Hogan going down to that level.
Yeah, that actually would make sense. Hogan, like, again, I don't think, but like
in a different feud, I would be more willing to give it the benefit of the doubt that it was intentional. For a Warrior feud, I'm not, because Warrior just said shit.
But they are like basically triple dog daring each other to just be psychotic with each other when they step into that ring. So again, that desperation coming out, even if like the more subtle nuances doesn't quite register for me, I do feel like there is something to be said for the fact that they are kind of like taking it to this new place that is really especially fucked up on Hogan's part as like he is desperately clinging to this legacy. I think there's something to be said for that. I think they recognized the lengths to which they needed to take this to kind of sell the story as it was happening.
Sure. They do the double clothesline bit. Both guys slowly kind of get up from that. And then I wrote, Warrior is shaking the ropes. It's Jover.
Well, yeah, Warrior shakes the ropes. And also I noticed like in order to like help himself get up from Hogan's holds, he's like clutching at invisible ropes in the air that seem to like tangibly pull him up. Man, I don't know what the fuck my man was having backstage, but
Hulk Hogan is getting hulked up on.
I know. This isn't a normal spot for Warrior, is it?
I mean, not really in the sense that he like jobber squashes a lot of people, so he doesn't need to do this a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's not totally uncommon for him, but it's not as associated with him as it is like the Hulk up.
He does take like Hogan's invulnerability bit, which is fucking insane.
Warrior does he does the big clotheslines, big suplex, and then oh god, a bear hug to Hogan.
Also, one thing I missed that I do want to point out real quick from earlier is when Hogan and Warrior knock each other out with double clotheslines, they're both kind of laying there. Earl Hebner, who's reffing, Ultimate Ike. How iconic, by the way, that this match is being reffed by like Ultimate Motherfucker Earl Hebner.
Yeah.
But he's counting the 10 count for the double knockout, and Jesse Ventura, again, making an actually salient point on commentary for the narrative, is like, yeah, look at how slow Earl is counting, almost as if he doesn't want it to end this way. Like, no, like they're kind of recognizing that there's some like great momentousness to this, and we want to see an epic great bout finish to it. I don't know. I just thought that's kind of a neat.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah. But yeah, so Warrior hulks the fuck up.
Hogan gets stuck in the bear hug, and he's fading.
And man, compared to Hogan, I made the New Japan Hogan joke a second ago. Compared to Hogan, Warrior still
does not have much of a move set, but you know he's executing what he has
trying,
well.
But then,
but yes, bear hug time. God.
One, it's so slow. It takes so long.
And the bear hug before this lasts for like 3 minutes. This is the part that did suck in the match because Warrior's bear hug just looks like he's hugging Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. But then 1, 2, and then he wags the finger. Oh shit. So they start running the ropes again. Hogan does a drop down. Warrior runs into the ref.
Yeah. Hebner out for the fucking rope running bump. Oof.
No, Hogan. So then they both get a bit where they hit a move on each other in the pin 1, 2, 3, but the ref's not there. Very rare that both people get a visual pin on each other.
Yeah, and I do love that they like both counted their own pins. Again, speaking to that like desperation. That was kind of cool. And it was kind of a cool sequence too. Like Warrior drops down like double axe handles on Hogan, does a little dance, runs the ropes, goes for the spear, but Hogan like in a cool little bit like reverses it, like he dodges out of the way and like lays his hand to Warrior's back and helps him forward.
Yeah, he basically just like takes Warrior's momentum and like shifts it away from him.
Yeah, it was like some fucking like judo shit. It was actually cool. And then like Warrior, like, you know, again, far less of a move set than Hulkster. Belly to back suplexes Hulk to get that visual pin. You know, whatever. But Hebner revives. Hogan's able to break up the pin that Warrior has on him. And then, you know, they're blows a little bit.
Here comes the big final sequency stuff.
They go out to the floor. They're beating up on each other. Warrior, in a thing I don't know if I've seen this happen to Hulk Hogan, at least not terribly often. Warrior like throws Hogan into the steel post, which is for Golden Age Hogan, I should say. NWO Hogan probably had that spot a lot.
Sure, yeah.
But like,
then Warrior gets back in the ring. The gorilla press over his head, drops him. He hits the big splash. That's his finishing move. 2 count. On the Hulkster. But then,
sure enough,
Hogan does all his moves. He punches, big boot. He goes for the leg drop. He misses.
Warrior rolls out of the leg drop.
Another splash to the Hogan, and the Ultimate Warrior pins Hulk Hogan. 1, 2, 3.
And then at 3.1, Hogan kicks
out. Yeah, he's like, well, that is not going to work for me, brother. 3.1, he's kicking out.
Yeah, but doesn't matter. Warrior for the dub.
Looking back on it now, I did note how Hogan got to kick out of Warrior's finisher. Warrior does not get to kick out of Hogan's
finisher. No,
Hogan
but
just misses.
I do feel though that Warrior rolling away from the big boot is still like insane because that never happens.
No, you get hit with the big boot, you're done. It's leg drop time.
Yeah, and so like, as much as Hogan definitely was like, I gotta protect my finisher, brother. If you're gonna make me lose, I at least gotta make sure the leg drop looks good, dude.
Yeah, you can't kick out. You can't kick out of the leg drop, dude.
Can't get out of the leg drop. That's illegal, brother. I'm almost kind of happy that they went with this instead because like it makes Warrior, again, for a brief moment before before it returns to regular programming the next week, and we all remember that, oh yeah, it's the fucking Ultimate Warrior. It does make him look like the Evolution, almost a bit savvier to be able to, instead of just brute force taking the leg drop, actually being able to like maybe psych Hulk Hogan out and avoid the world's ultimatest finishing combo of the big boot, the leg drop, and the 1, 2, 3. He rolls out of it. It makes him look really fucking savvy and really smart for a brief moment. So I do kind of like that he rolled away from it. I thought that kind of worked, honestly.
Yeah. Hogan is looking to God and saying it was only 2.
It was only 2. It's only 2. But no.
Hogan, and then Warrior has won. And Hogan managed to make this about as much about himself as he can get away with.
Oh, absolutely. You know he politics like a motherfucker for this too.
Everyone criticizes this part that like Hogan makes so much of this shit about himself.
Oh yeah.
Like we get so much this time. Hogan is like, he leaves the ring and he's about to cry and he gets his belt and he hands the belt over to Warrior and they hug, and then we get to watch Hogan leave the ring and ride the cart back up the ramp.
I gotta say the like, for as much as it was like him hot dogging and still managing to make the moment about himself, I did think it was kind of wholesome how he did like hand over the belt to Warrior and like they hugged. That was
fine. If it was just that part, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
But it's also Hogan. It's so the camera focuses so much on Hogan as if this is still about him.
Well, and also Jesse and Gorilla on commentary, I'm sure completely fucking mandated to do this, are also making it about Hogan still, like by hand. They say like, oh, what's Hogan gonna do? And when Hogan like hands over the belt to Warrior rather than attack him, they're like, and Hogan just cemented his legacy as truly immortal. Like, what about the Warrior? Stop putting Hogan over. This isn't about him.
No.
I guarantee you that was like Hogan, Hogan getting the politicking to be like, commentary's still gonna put me over, dude.
Yeah. So what a moment. Like, this was supposed to be like time to fade Hogan. It's been 6 years.
I diagnose you with old.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't
for a lot of reasons.
First of all, Ultimate Warrior is a fucking liability.
Ultimately the biggest problem is that dude is who he is as a person. And as a wrestler. He was irritable to deal with. He wasn't generally well liked. Mm-hmm. He frequently fucked off and didn't, he's been fired multiple times he fired at least once for skipping shows and shit. Like, he was always a pain in the fucking ass that Vince only ever put up with because he was a draw.
Yeah. And he was
also
fucking untalented in the ring.
I mean, that was easy enough to get around. It worked fine without him, but it doesn't help. If we're trying to think of like why Warrior couldn't last, because this whole story arc was about talking about the Warrior's greatest triumph. Might as well talk about why he couldn't last. That was part. The limitedness in the ring did not help. Like, he was like, everyone shits on Hogan as a in-ring wrestler. And he ain't no like Will Ospreay in there, but the guy could absolutely work a hell of a match with what he got in a way that Warrior could not. And I think another problem is the feuds. The feuds were bad. They didn't draw well. As I alluded to earlier, they kind of quickly go back to the well of Rick Rude that the fans were already kind of sick of.
They didn't.
And they let Hogan fight Earthquake, which admittedly it would have been another problem in a different way if they run Earthquake, because Warrior had just finished fighting with Dino Bravo. They go to the well of DiBiase, which by this point, DiBiase's not top heel material anymore.
No.
He's much more jokier upper mid heel now.
Yeah, I almost feel like this thing with Jake the Snake was like grand finale-ish for his like top heel status.
In a way it is. So it's a problem if they don't have good they don't have good feuds for Warrior. Mm-hmm. And then this is a bit unfair, but I will point out also that Warrior is super of 1990 in a way that like was quickly gonna not be cool. Like, he is cool for 1990. I'm not gonna try to pretend he's not. But he's super hair metal-y and face paint and like Kiss and Guns N' Roses kind of energy. And
generic grunge 90s song.
Nirvana killing many careers in the 90s, and they would have killed Ultimate Warriors too if he made it that far. grunge is about to be way fucking cooler than hair metal. And the Warrior would have had to have changed, I think, to fit more of that 90s sensibilities if we're going to look at him as a long-term draw. But
yeah,
can't take it away from him. Dude burned bright. He burned very bright and burned very fast.
And he fizzled the fuck out real quick.
Yep. And so, yeah, this was overall for this arc. We already talked in the upfront about WrestleMania 6, the WrestleMania of all time.
Yeah.
And so this arc, I had a lot of fun with this arc overall. It was kind of fun to explore this era some more.
And I, honestly, for as much as it was the WrestleMania of all time, I didn't hate this watch experience. I didn't watch nearly as much of it as you. But, like, for what I saw, it was goofy in a way that was pretty bearable for me. And also, like, it did have some legitimate highlights. So, overall, not a overall bad experience, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting.
Yeah, someday we'll be back to talk about the other Hogan Warrior feud.
Oh boy, oh Jesus.
WCW. We don't need to worry about that for a while now. We can get away from that for a while, yeah. So, next arc here of this ancient era arc. So, the problem with this podcast is that these arcs take so long to do. I come up with ideas for future arcs before I finish. We come anywhere close to finishing the new one.
Yes.
And so it's not fun. It's not a cool, fun, hip idea. Like it's not like a recent idea in my head. But I watched Dark Side of the Ring. Great docuseries on Vice.
It is. I need to watch more of it myself.
Season 4, there's an episode about Magnum TA. Was a big up-and-coming star in the mid-'80s that got in a huge motorcycle accident, or maybe it was just a regular car wreck. I don't know. He got in a big vehicular accident. It pretty much killed his career.
Yeah.
And he's a big what-if story within wrestling. Like, he was kind of... I don't want to get too much into it yet, because we're going to do a whole arc about it. But he was very much considered kind of like the heir apparent to the wrestling world in the mid-'80s. Like, he felt like this guy had it all. He had the look, he had the talent, he's the fans are into him. And then a car wreck.
And then
I want to do an arc.
He did have the look. Fuck.
He did, yeah. Dude was on that Burt Reynolds ass looking.
Holy shit, you're not kidding. Okay, that's sick as hell.
Anyway, so I thought, let's do an arc that explores one of Magnum TA's greatest triumphs. And in doing so, we're going back to 1985. But we're not going to the WWF.
Oh my.
We're going to the NWA.
Whoa!
WCW of 1985.
Holy shit. Okay. Fuck me. That's cool. Let's do it.
Yep. So that is what we'll be doing in the near future.
Fuck. All right. Goddamn.
Yep. As for next time, as we go, I guess what I'm going to say is we'll be going on the road to Starrcade 1985.
Holy shit! I didn't realize they were doing Starrcade in the late '80s. That's cool. Or
Starrcade actually came before WrestleMania.
Whoa!
Yeah, WWE would prefer you not think about that, but
don't think about it too hard.
Anyway, as for next time, though, we got to return to the temple. I mean, holy shit, man! Aztec Warfare 2 happened, and Dario Cueto is back with his god brother. And I don't mean god brother as in brother of a godparent. I mean his brother, a god.
An eldritch abomination, yes.
Yeah.
And who is the new champion? Because fuck
shit.
Yeah. Holy hell.
Shit's about to get
darkness was conquered only for a bigger darkness to show up immediately.
What overtakes darkness? More darkness, baby. That's right. Let's fucking go. Woohoo!
All right. So yeah, let's go back to Lucha Underground Season 2. See what happens now that we're in a new era.
I'm excited. I love that show.
That's for next time, though. Until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir. Dear friends, thank you all so much for joining us in yet another episode of the Noobs and Knockouts podcast. We are so delighted to have you here. Returning listeners, viewers, what have you, you know the drill. Thank you all so much for once again joining or welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs, whatever the hell it is you use to consume our content. We're just so happy to have you here. You know, New people, hey, hi, how's it going? Welcome to the show. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts podcast like to think we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you're brand new to the wild, wacky world of wrestling or you're a veteran of all the weird bullshit, either way, we hope you feel welcome here. We hope you had a good time with us. We hope, you kind of want to come back and have spend more time with us week after week. And I'm going to tell you all the ways you can do so. First and foremost, of course, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, make sure it turns a nice little solid color so you get notifications every single time we drop a brand new episode. Give us all that sweet engagement. Helps out our channel metrics a lot. Add us to your playlist. Austin has been, or check out our playlists. Austin has been kind enough to organize all of the storylines that we follow into their own separate playlists. So if there's something you want to follow without having to skip around a whole lot, you can just go around there, pick and choose, and follow something all the way down. It's great. And you can see our beautiful, sexy faces, the sheer shock on my face that I enjoyed such matches as the mixed tag between Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire versus the Macho King and Queen Sherry. Wild stuff. But yeah, so join us for the video version over on YouTube. If you want to get, of course, the audio only experience, we have you covered there as well. You can find the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, 3 of the best places to find your podcast. Check us out there. Give us a listen. Again, some of that sweet engagement, although it's much different. If you could, if you're so inclined, download our show so you can listen to us offline and maybe leave us a nice little rating and review so that if you enjoy us, we maybe should tell more people to, get off their asses and enjoy us. Yeah, I'm just spitballing here. Yeah. Either way, however you want to consume our show, YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whatever. We just hope you feel like joining us in the future. But hey, we exist past this little void that we find ourselves in week after week. You can find us on some other places on the interwebs as well. Of course, first and foremost is our Twitter. You can follow us at Noobs and NoxPod on Twitter. That's at Noobs, the letter N, NoxPod on Twitter. Come check us out there. We do the whole Twitter thing. Memes, discourse with the IWC, which is never a good idea, but whoever said we were smart people. We put up a post every single time we drop a brand new episode, so you guys always know what the hell is going on. The highlight of our Twitter, of course, is weekly wrestling live tweeting every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm back, baby, and we are talking about and better than ever. We are live and talking about AEW Dynamite on TBS, and having a grand old time tweeting about that. Additionally, when I have the time to, I've been kind of lazy and busy recently. What's on there? But when we have the time to, sometimes I'll hop on Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern and talk about AEW Rampage on TNT. It is the show that y'all been waiting on. And of course, I'll sometimes hop on too on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern and talk all about AEW Collision on TNT. I do hear that Saturday nights are perhaps all right for fighting. That's true. Many people are saying this, many such cases. On top of all of that, Austin is the king of the knockouts. He is a man who, ostensibly follows all three.
Hey, you don't gotta be that honest about it on air.
Hey, you were honest about it last time. I was just preempting it. All right. Who follows the 3 major North American wrestling companies? Likes to keep you guys posted about it. Sometimes he'll tweet about the pay-per-views. We just generally like to tell you guys what the fuck is up, especially for those of the noobish persuasion. Gives you a chance to kind of shop around, see what wrestling you might want to get into. So my friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Sure. So for AEW, we just talked about how you can watch that show every week.
Shows, yes.
So we are recording this pre-Full Gear but we releasing it post Full Gear. So we're
not Full Gear's happening, baby. I can't wait.
Not going to happen. We're not going to talk about that. The next AEW pay-per-view then will be World's End,
which is a name that goes so fucking hard. What the hell?
But it is happening on December 30th, 2023, which, sorry, won't be watching.
I will be.
All right, no, December has 31 days.
December is 31 days, so it's the day before New Year's.
Now I got to double check when the college football playoff is, because the Ohio State's playing on December 30th. No way, Jose.
Oh, no, don't worry. I got you covered, brother. My boys are going to be lame and in Vegas, but I'm still going to be hosting a fucking watch party at my house, even if my boys ain't there. Come hell or high water.
And then, so far, all we have to announce is the championship final to crown the inaugural winner of the AEW Continental Classic, a.k.a. What If We Did the G1?
Hey, we've just been talking about this recently.
We got to do the comparison: the Continental Classic versus the Bound for Glory series.
The Bound for Glory series.
Oh, admittedly, the Continental Classic is already starting off on a better foot.
Yeah, well,
I can follow the point standings, and there's only 2 groups of 6. That's all we're doing.
There's like a gajillion fucking stipulations to this.
Yeah, we got already step up.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's all we got so far, obviously. Then up next for TNA. I'm gonna have to get used to saying that again.
Fuck yeah.
After I got
formerly known as TNA, soon to once again be known as TNA.
Yeah, I got so used to fucking Impact Wrestling. I fully bought into that name change, and now I'm gonna go back. Total non-stop action.
No other meaning for that acronym. Don't think about it.
I mean, not gonna lie. As a kid, that's all I thought TNA meant. I was like, total nonstop action. What else would it mean? I didn't know the other meaning of that term until I was like 16. Anyway, so right now, Impact Wrestling, TNA is about to rebrand itself back to that name for a whole lot of fun reasons. Right now, they are going through a bit of a they're trying to do a bit of a relaunch thing. They're kind of just like, they're trying to get a big old production change. They're coming back at the start of the year, all brand new. And so what that means, though, is that, right now they're in a bit of a lull. They're just kind of they are doing storylines and stuff, but it's very much like we're just trying to make do with like the international tours that we already have planned and turn them into weekly television for the next 2 months. But if you would like to watch or go ahead and start watching along, get a feel for it, you can do that on every Thursday for $1 a month. You can live on YouTube at 8:30 p.m. Eastern every Thursday. You can watch Impact Wrestling every week commercial free. Or if you do have cable, you can tune in on Access TV 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. Now for the WWE. They got a show upcoming this week by the time this episode drops. It's Survivor Series War Games.
Oh my. CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk.
Holy shit. If that actually happens.
There's no way. There's no way, dude.
Bro, I will say, though, if the War Games match happens and the 5th member of the team of Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn is CM Punk, I will laugh. And
that is legitimately so fucking funny.
Would be the funniest outcome imaginable.
That would be insane, and I would love it.
Anyway, WWE, you can watch Raw on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern on USA Network for now, and SmackDown not at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fridays on Fox for now. They are changing around network. It's that time of the season. It's time to be changing around TV contracts. But November 25th, you can watch Survivor Series War Games on Peacock, WWE's NBC Universal streaming service. It's where WWE licenses out all their content. And the big selling point for Survivor Series now, I wish it was traditional Survivor Series matches, but that's a whole other rant for another day. Is bringing back the War Games match. It's pretty simple. Two teams of 4 or 5, 2 rings, 1 big old cage, no rules. It goes until somebody submits or quits. And it starts with 1 man each, and every 2 minutes, and then every 5 minutes, a new person comes in. And the match can't end until everybody's in the ring.
It's blood and War Games. Hell yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Blood and guts, a different thing. But yes, War Games, it's a lot of fun. But I do love the traditional Survivor Series tag team elimination matches. Those are so much fun.
I love it.
Anyway, that's the whole thing, how WWE has ruined the brand of Survivor Series in my mind, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah, let's later rant.
Yeah. And we need to do a Survivor Series show, so I have an excuse to rant about Survivor Series matches.
I look forward to it. I don't know the contents of this rant. I look forward to hearing it someday.
Yep. Anyway, so that is kind of how to follow the big 3 wrestling companies in America right now. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. No, be sure to check all that out. We love to talk about this shit. It's our one chance to talk about modern stuff on a retro review show. So, we appreciate that. Thank you for indulging us. But also, again, for the noobs in the audience, pay-per-views especially are such a great jumping on point if you're trying to kind of get into all this shit. Because, there are these big epic shows. You're bound to get some cool matches on them. Old storylines wrapping up, new ones kicking off. It's just kind of a cool, awesome spectacle and a great encapsulation of everything fucking wrestling stands for. And usually there's at least something, to really legitimately enjoy on there. So, we like to tell you guys all about that, give you all your options, yada, yada. It's great. So if you want to hear us ramble all about that shit, and if you enjoy listening to us ramble on our show, you'll enjoy it over on the Twitter at Noobs and KnoxPod. Of course, if you want to get in more direct and long-form contact with us, you can email us at noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word and, knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come say hi to us there. Tell us what you think about the show. Request things you want to see us cover on the show. Start discourse. Tell us our hot takes are stupid or that they're based. Either fucking way. We just love talking to people. We love people saying hi. We would love to say hi back. noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. Of course, finally, if you want to support our show a little bit, chicka ching ching, you can find us also on Patreon. The Noobs and Knockouts podcast is on Patreon. The link is in our Twitter. $1 a month, just a single literal dollary do gets you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode. Shout out, as always, to the sugar daddy, Kyle Smith, for his steadfast support of our program. We love you, buddy. Thank you so much. Enjoy your perks. If you want to enjoy your perks along with our boy Kyle, be sure to check us out all up on that Patreon, Noobs and Knockouts podcast. The link for that, once again, is in our Twitter.
See y'all next time.
Hasta luego.